quit. You're really like against all odds. You're doing something that no one in the family's done, that none of your friends have done.
I'm just gonna say the thing you're not supposed to say.
Whatever is mine is looking for me.
You have to know what road to take to get to your final destination.
Everything that you ever wanted is on the other side of fear.
Good. Ooh, is it good afternoon still? I know some of y'all on your way from work. I know y'all probably on your commute right now. I'm sorry if I caught you on your commute, but I had to come on here and talk about some things. My community tab is hilarious. It's hilarious. And I have to remind myself it's just a reality TV show. 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 It's not that deep. It's just a reality TV show. That's just how I emotionally regulate myself because y'all not about to stress me out. And then I wasn't even gonna speak on this season of Love Island because of what it did to me last season. Like if you go back, I literally look a mess. Partially because my mom was sick and I was carrying the Love Island just the community of it all. I was just like, "Oh my god." No, it is in the sense of it's a reality TV show. If you're becoming obsessive, if you're becoming a bully, like if the worst parts of yourself are showing, you need to be reminded it's just a reality TV show. Like, it shouldn't be bringing out a nasty spirit unless you just have a nasty spirit. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you just have a nasty spirit. I don't know, but people be taking stuff like way too far. Just taking it way too far, and it's never that deep for me. It's never that deep. I'm gonna walk away and go do something else. I'm not gonna continue pressing forward when it's just nasty and it's just not even necessary. Like we should be adults. We should be able to have conversation, perspective, disagreements, agreements, and it shouldn't even be taken to the next level of uh people shaming, bullying, mocking, and like all of that stuff. It's not necessary. It's very childish to me. That's all I'm saying. Thank you for the compliments. I've been really disappointed with Black women content creators. Seeing the commentary has been very strange. But then I'm also seeing, and this is another thing too. There's a difference between being a bully and actually giving constructive criticism. And as a woman that's 34 years old, I'm in my age group. So because of my age group, my timeline is flooded with my age group. It's not flooded with 20 something year olds, it's flooded with women my age. So when I'm seeing commentary from my age group and it's bullying, it's mocking, and it's belittling a 23-year-old, that shit is weird to me. That shit is weird as fuck. It's weird. Because as an older woman, I'm not old, but I'm older. I am more mature. I should be. I know more of the world simply because I've been here longer, right? So I understand certain things that a 23-year-old would not understand because that's just the stage that they are in their life. So when I see someone my age mock, bully, belittle, nitpick, neg a 23-year-old, that shit is weird. And you know what? The last time I saw this, it was Tatiana Chanel in the Boston Richie situation. It was a bunch of grown women, again, 30 something years old, going in on a 21-year-old and putting her in a position as if she should have known better when she was groomed. Her mother failed her. But I saw a bunch of grown women dragging her too. When I say grace, it's understanding. You give understanding, not passes, understanding. You understand who they are, their environment, you consider their age, you consider things instead of just judging them at face value. That's what grace is. It's not a pass. It's not that you can't correct or criticize dysfunction or toxic behavior. It's just you are giving understanding about, okay, well, they are, 20 something. They still have time to figure it out. So, you know what? I'm not going to hold it against them for the rest of their life. That's what grace is, but it's not pass. It's not a pass. Some of y'all want to give people passes as a means of grace. And when you give people passes in your real life when it comes to grace, you're just going to let people play in your face with dysfunction. That's not what grace is, for me at least. Grace is simply understanding a person, their position, where they are in life, and they're considering their environment, their upbringing, things like that. That's grace. But it's not a pass though. So much so, some of you missed it, but my last video, I didn't keep it up because my niece was in the video, but I criticized Anaya. I didn't bully her. I didn't mock her. I didn't make fun of her quirks, but I did criticize her. So let's go back, because a lot of y'all missed that, but I had to take the video down because I didn't want my niece's face attached to Love Island at all. So let's pull that up. Let me see.
Y'all, it's been so disappointing seeing black women 30 plus, because I'm 34. It's been really weird seeing 30 plus year old women drag really the entire cast of women of Love Island. Am I like Trinity? And hear me out, because I literally said when I was 20 something and I was in my early 20 somethings and I was lost, literally lost. I still remember my early 20s because I felt so lost in life. I literally made a promise to myself that I would not forget how it felt to be awkward, to be weird, to not know myself, to like be truly like lost in life. But I'm searching though, I'm really, 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 really searching. And I said that I will never forget what that was like. Like I never want to be out of touch with my younger self. I never want to be out of touch with my younger self, to the point where I can't extend understanding to women that are younger than me. Because I just remember when I was 20 something, it just seemed like the older women were kind of like tone deaf, or they were like out of touch. And I'm like, I can't be like that. I cannot be like that. I cannot be like that. I cannot be like that. So I don't agree personally with how Anaya handled movie night. I didn't agree with that. I don't agree with women acting out reactively with emotional outbursts. Like I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that. I don't. That's not how you handle things as a grown woman at all. And I am very proud that Anaya took accountability for that, because I couldn't stand behind what she did. I'm sorry. And yes, I understand.
That's criticism. It's not extreme. And that's the thing. What I'm noticing is, especially when it comes to my community tab, a lot of people are extreme. I'm not an extremist. I'm level headed. I'm not just giving gossip, I'm giving insight. So it's just weird. I'm like, people are trying to imply that I didn't criticize Anaya at all. I didn't agree with what Anaya did. You don't act like that. As a woman, that's not how you carry yourself at all. That is not how you carry yourself. That's not how you conduct yourself. If you are a woman and you're grown, you should know how to emotionally regulate yourself in high stressful situations, in situations where you are being triggered, because it could cost you your life how you respond. Huh? Isn't that similar to what I said about Carmelo Anthony? Yeah, it's the same thing I said about Carmelo Anthony. Same thing. Same thing. Know when to walk away. If you feel like you're being disrespected, you're not being heard, you're not being understood for whatever reason, do you not know you can walk away? You can walk away. You don't have to engage at all. You can literally walk away. You don't get up in someone's face and provoke them. And I get it. Casey stood up, right? But in real life, things happen like that. I'm not going to tell you that what she did was okay. No, what she did was she could potentially put her life in danger. Seriously. Not every man out here has self-control. So you must have it because it could save your life. That's what that's about. You must have it because it could literally save your life, which is why I said in the Carmelo Anthony situation, when it came to the other kid, Austin, that he should have never put his hands on him. It goes both ways. But when you're an extremist, you think it only goes one way. You think it only goes one way. This is real talk with Yoni. Still, this is between two worlds with Yoni, where duality isn't conflict, it's just a conversation. So I'm never going to apologize for being honest. I will apologize for being wrong. But I'm very fair, level-headed, balanced, insightful, not emotional. I'm not projecting. I'm not doing any of that. So no, I didn't agree with Anaya and how she handled that situation. And as quiet as it's kept, I didn't agree with the other girls either. All that loud talking, and then you have men that are in the hot seat, right? Movie night is to hold them accountable for their actions, right? But you talking, you're not even allowing the men to speak for themselves because they're in the hot seat. They're in the hot seat. Silence makes people uncomfortable. When you have men in the hot seat, really anyone in the hot seat, silence makes them very uncomfortable. So then they would have to speak up for themselves. They would have to answer for their behavior, their actions, their choices, their decisions. But if you're going to speak over them because you're so much of a hothead that you can't even just self-regulate and allow the person to speak for themselves, you're going to miss out on so much. You're going to miss out on so much. Because those men now would have to explain themselves, but they can't do it if you're talking.
Understand that Casey stood up first, yes, but as a woman, I'm never going to tell you to get in a man's face and even put yourself in that position to where he feels provoked. I'm never going to tell you to do that. I'm never going to encourage you to do that at all because it could escalate. And some of these men are not safe to even provoke like that, where they have the self-control to not put their hands on you. Okay? So I would never encourage you to jump up in their face and all of that. Like, nah, absolutely not. It could cost you your life, to be honest. I think the reason why Casey is getting more smoke than Sincere is because Casey came out as the nice guy. And I think if he would have came out similar to Sincere, because we knew he was a douchebag, which Sincere is an Aries male too. Sincere is an Aries male. I said I'm well educated and well versed on Aries male.
It's a lot of fire in that house. It's a lot of, or in that villa. There's a lot of fire in that villa. But that's really all I wanted to say, y'all, was that no, I didn't condone with how those women acted on movie night. Like, you got to know when to shut up. Seriously. As a woman, you got to know when to shut up. Like, for real. And I'm being so for real because if you just always talking, you really going to miss out on key details that could literally show you the truth about a person and who they really are. But if you're so emotional and you're so much of a hothead, and this is coming from someone that used to be a hothead, you're going to miss out on seeing the truth about people. You're going to miss out on seeing the truth and seeing the signs and seeing the warnings if you don't know how to shut up. Like, seriously. Seriously. So let's move on. Another point that I wanted to make too, because again, it's getting ridiculous. Did y'all miss this? I haven't been able to come online because I've been with family. Did y'all miss this? Now, as someone that did not like Casey and the disrespect when it came to Anaya, I took this and I accepted it for what it was. I was willing to let the past be the past, move forward, and just wash my hands with all that other stuff, right? He apologized. He took accountability. I'm ready to let it go, move forward, clean slate. That was my mindset after I saw this episode. I felt like it was genuine. I did. I felt like he was seriously genuine, and I felt like he really did see the errors in his ways in a genuine way. Now, was there like a catalyst to him seeing the errors in his ways? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I believe the catalyst was, okay, like people in the house are really not fucking with me like that. Like the girls are not fucking with me. The producers really are kind of like rubbing me the wrong way now. Like the energy towards me is weird towards me, right? So I get why some of you are like, oh, I don't feel like it's genuine. Is because he was literally brought to his knees to see the errors in his ways. But because it took that, he was accountable. And I do feel like when he really felt like, damn, maybe I really did do something wrong, because why is everyone responding to me negatively? That's a human experience. That literally is a human experience. Like if you don't know your shadow side and you really can't see your shadow side, sometimes it takes a catalyst, something extreme to wake you up, to have you realize like, damn, maybe people are right. So it doesn't take away from the fact that I felt like his apology was genuine. I did. I felt that. But it took so much for him to realize that he was wrong, though. That's all. It took people in the villa not really wanting to fuck with him like that. The girls not really liking him like that. The producers not really being on his side like that. It took them playing movie night for him to see the error in his ways, for him to really come to that conclusion. But I do think that once he reached the conclusion, that it was genuine. So I was willing to let it go. Like I'm seriously willing to let it go, like move past it, like it is what it is. And then I started to think too that I felt like TT and Casey were just a better fit. I just did. I felt like they were just a better fit. Lifestyles, intellect, communication. I just felt like they were more compatible, and I did not feel that with Casey and Anaya. So yeah, I was willing to let that go. But even with me doing that, right? This was performative. It just I'm like I'm sorry. It just was. It was performative. It was performative. Women watch me because they learn from my content. It was performative. Somebody that is asking you to be their girlfriend and you barely know them, that's weird. That's love bombing. That's love bombing. I seriously don't see the difference between Sincere and KC. Zach is horrible. Like he's horrible at hiding like how he really feels. He's just bad at it. Zach don't want to be in no damn relationship. But Casey is just a better performer. Sincere, is he a good performer? I don't feel like Sincere is that great of a performer. I don't, but I guess Melanie, she buying it, so I guess so. America's buying it because Melanie is still on the show. I'm like, why y'all want to see that girl suffer any more than what she is? Like as a real friend, I would never. I would try to get her off that show and save the embarrassment. But it's not shocking because last season y'all did that to Huda. Y'all made her stay on the show when you knew Chris didn't like her like that, to the point that it led to her being embarrassed. Seriously embarrassed. But it is what it is. Sincere is awful. Like honestly, I feel like Sincere is worse than everyone. But honestly, if I'm being completely real with you, this entire cast is awful of men. Like the entire cast is just awful selection of men. The only one, and I'm including Bryce. Okay, let me explain why I don't really rock with Bryce, because people are wanting to make this about black women being with white men. That's your extremist mindset. That don't have nothing to do with me. Don't project that onto me, because that has nothing to do with me. Those are your feelings. Those are not mine. So I don't really rock with Bryce either. There's something sneaky about him. And I was picking up on that. But again, I don't have any real proof that he's sneaky. But do you find it interesting who he's gravitated towards throughout his journey on Love Island? Who has he gravitated towards? The sneakiest man in the villa, Zach. When I discern everyone. I discern who people attach themselves to, who people choose to connect themselves to. That's a red flag for me. You're buddy buddy with the sneakiest man in the villa. That's weird to me. That's weird to me. Now, if Bryce would have later became kind of close to a Carl who's not performative, who's genuine, because he's the only one to me that's not performative, the only one, I would be like, okay, maybe. But no, he's still buddy buddy with Zach. That's suspicious to me. That is very suspicious to me. I don't see how women don't see the red flag. Like it's the red flag to me. But I get it. Y'all want to see Trinity with Bryce. Trinity is 22 years old. She has the rest of her life to find love. It don't have to be a Bryce. Carl is the only one that is truly genuine to me. That's just me picking up on his energy and his spirit. He's the only one that's genuine. That's it. I don't really see Bryce as genuine. I see him as being performative, like just doing the right things, saying the right things. You know, it's just, yeah, that's really it. Very performative. That's it. So I don't know. It's like people get mad at me when I call it out in KC. Y'all did this last season, but I'm not voting on nothing I'm saying, because it always turns out that I'm right. Always. Not because I'm right, but because I'm level-headed, because I'm fair, because I can see things and I'm just giving insight. So when we talk about KC, I'm getting the same energy. Performative. Performative, performative, performative. And you know what? Because y'all know I like to talk to the ancestors. I asked, I'm like, is Casey genuine? And you know what I was told? He just wants to win. And you know what's sad? Tiara is genuine. That's sad. Tiara is very genuine. She has genuine emotions. Casey is all about recognition, perception, like how he's being perceived by the world, how America at once hated him and now they're loving him again because of how y'all are voting. And so now he's like, okay, I'm going to choose Tiara because America is loving me with her. And then they're accepting me again because I went from being hated to now being loved. So he's basically using her. He's using her so that he can be perceived in the way that he wants to be perceived. He's using her in the sense of support, emotional support, because everyone was really kind of against him. They didn't agree with his behavior and his choices. And Tiara was there. And you know what? I asked this before I watched last night's episode. And when I saw the things that he said, when I saw what he was saying, I was like, this checks out. And then this is the crazy thing too. This is what really made me the energy match up was when he said, let me pull it up. Was when he said, it's peaceful without them. It's peaceful without them. That means that he doesn't have to perform. He can have a day off. He can have a few hours off from his performance. Because if you don't think that he has to win over the women in the villa, he does. He knows that. Men are way more strategic than you give them credit for. They're not dumb. They're very smart. I don't know why y'all coddle them so much. They're very smart. So that's what that was about. It was like, oh, I don't have to put on a performance. I can have a few hours off. I could just chill for the rest of the day. So just like I didn't like Casey with Anaya, I don't like Casey with TT either. She seems like a very sweet girl. Once you get past her armor, she has an armor. She has built up walls. It's hard for her to be vulnerable. It's hard for her to really show that more, I would say, genuine side to her, because she most likely has in the past and she's gotten hurt, burned, or whatever the case may be. But once you pull past or you look past her armor, her walls, she's a very sweet girl. So I don't really like Casey for TT either. Feel the same way. It's just, it is what it is. I it's kind of sad. And then there's an imbalance where TT is all in, but Casey is only in based off of the public. So as long as y'all keep supporting, y'all keep rooting for them, he'll be okay. But the only one that's liable to get hurt in this situation is Tier. Sadly. Casey, thank you. Casey is only for Casey. So, and then you know what? You know what's also a red flag is the group of men that are like rooting for him, NBA players. That's suspicious too. The only genuine one I've seen is Carl. That's it. He just happens to be a non-black man. That's it. It's not about skin complexion. It's truly about, is this person genuine or not? It's about personality. It's about character. It's about integrity. And he's been tested a few times because when Bryce asked that question about who do you find attractive, he peeped it. He peeped it. He's been tested. I've been watching. I've been looking for Carl to fuck up. Like, y'all act like I haven't been looking for Carl to fuck. I've been looking for Carl to fuck up. He just hasn't. He just has not. That's just what I've seen. But I'm waiting. That's the thing. I don't give men passes. I give them a chance, but I don't give men passes. When you give men passes, that's how your life gets ruined. When you give men passes. And I'm so serious. When you give a man a pass, your life could easily be destroyed. Some of you need to learn the difference. You can give a man a chance, but you should never give them a pass. When you give them a pass, you like to overlook things. You like to downplay obvious red flags. Obvious. You can give him a chance, but don't give him a pass. And that's the thing. I've been giving Carl a chance, but I'm not giving him a pass. I just haven't found anything yet. That's the difference. But let's get into some other things, right? Because there's some things that the girls were asking under this post. They were like, Yoni, why don't you agree with him saying she's shown me she's worthy to be my girl? He didn't see her value. He didn't see her worth. He had to be shown, and it was based off of serving him. That's a red flag. You will be knee deep in a relationship, a marriage, where you won't be appreciated. You won't be appreciated. You won't be valued. You will be tolerated, and it will be based in what you do for that man. That's why. And it matters because how a relationship starts, well, how it's how it ends. And it's kind of similar to, because relationships, they mirror each other, right? So think about a friendship. Think about a family member, right? You were doing for them, right? And you thought that they loved you, they valued you, they appreciated you. Soon as you said no one time, what happened? What happened? Relationships are relationships. So when he said, she's shown me she's worthy, she's put in work, she served him, she put herself in the position of servitude. So now he's like, yeah, you're worthy to be my girl. That's awful. You want a man to see your value and your worth and appreciate you just based in who you are, not how you serve them, not what you do for them. And really, that's any relationship. That's a friendship. That's a family dynamic. It could be with your mother, your father, hell, eldest daughters. We know exactly what that's like. Firstborn daughter, we know exactly what that's like. We feel like we only appreciate it when we're doing for people. But when we're not doing for people, we're not appreciated. We're not valued. It's the same thing. So when someone has this type of language, your value starts with what you do for them, not in who you are. That's what that is. That's the difference. And why is you being who you are not is not enough to be worthy of being his girlfriend? That's what I want to know. Why is that? So he views her worth based in how she serves him, not based in seeing her worth. You want a man to see your worth. not feel like you have to prove you're worthy. That makes a huge difference. So she will be limited in this relationship. She will be seen as servitude, not appreciation. And right now she's in service. Like she's literally in service right now because she's helping him win the show. So where does the rhetoric come from? What other men have you seen with this language? Well, let me show you. Let me pull it up.
Cam Newton says that a woman's value decreases with every single child that she has, coming from someone who has 9 children himself, along with 3 different baby mamas. Furthermore, he says that men and women are
Now, why would a man like Cam Newton, he's red pill, why would he say that? Because the more children you have, the less you are able to serve a man. You think your faves are getting divorced because they just getting divorced? No. No. They're getting divorced because they're realizing, they're waking up to the realization that they are married to someone that only valued them based off of how they served the man. When kids come into the mix, all it does is take away from what you're able to do for that man, because you now have kids that are attached to the hip 24/7, and the man doesn't know his place because he didn't see you as valuable and worthy of being with in partnership. It was all about servitude. It's all about what you could do for him. So when you're now doing for kids, you can't do for him in the same way. It's just a fact. So you need to be able to discern a man like KC saying some shit like that. Because as soon as you stop serving that man, maybe you have kids, whatever the case may be, you stop serving that man in the way that you were serving him when it was just the two of you. Y'all don't have a relationship. Y'all don't even have a foundation. And that's what's so weird to me, is that when it comes to this situation with Tierra, she's been serving him day one, right? Because she was trying to outdo Anaya. So she was performing, she was competing. That's what men love. That's what makes them feel like a prize. So is it shocking that Casey received that treatment and now he's saying you are worthy of being my girlfriend? No. No. That's like ride or die language. No, it's not. It's not. So even in Cam's mentality, he's basically saying the same thing. Like the more children you have, your value decreases. And it's because the more children you have, the less you're valuable to me, because you're giving to children and you can't give to me.
able to be plutonic friends. You know, I didn't used to think this was the case when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, there is some truth to this. He's speaking directly in reference to the marketability of women who have children. And if you're dealing with a woman with multiple babies, with multiple baby daddies, that's just more issues, trauma, and other people you have.
Now that part I agree with, but that's not what Kim said. And he's a, what is, how many, he's a 3-time baby daddy?
To deal with in your life, which is why
And listen, I need y'all to understand this, because I said this in my last live. You know, when it comes to men with this type of language and mentality, it leads to single motherhood. You aware, right? You are aware, because once you have those kids, he don't see you as valuable no more. He don't see you as valuable anymore because you can't do for him in the same way that you were doing for him before. It's all about mentality. All about it. You got to be able to see between a man's words and see directly to his mind, because his words lead to his mind, which was why I was upset that the girls wouldn't let the men speak during movie night, because I was like, we trying to get an understanding of these men and their mentalities, and you talking. Shut up. That's annoying. So no, like, that's how you get into their head. Let them speak. Let them say what they're going to say, right? You don't react. You don't respond. You just allow silence to grow. The more they grow uncomfortable, the more they say. You get real insight when you do that.
single woman with no children is much more marketable to the modern man, as bearing the responsibility of other people's children is no easy task. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you think that the marketability of women decreases with every single child that she has?
To a red pill man, yeah. Yep, it's all about male worship. A red pill is all about male worship. That's all that is. So yeah, a red pill man, with a man with a red pill mentality, like absolutely, like it's all about servitude. It's all about you serving the man. So yeah, that's what it's about. It's not shocking at all. It's not shocking whatsoever. Let me see what else. So this is basically what TT did when she came into the villa.
What does a submissive woman do for her man?
Everything.
What does that mean?
You know, like packing his bag, unpacking his bag, just making sure all the things that he wants. And like, I pretty much read his mind. So it's like, if I know you and I study you, like I know how you are in the morning, I know how you are about midday, I know when you're in this mood, what you need. Like before you can ever ask me for something, I'm already on it. I mean, he's spoiled.
One thing you can't say is I'm not consistent. I'm very consistent. I'm very consistent. Because at the end of the day, if I'm not consistent, and I mean like in real life, I will be miserable as fuck. Seriously, if I don't take my own advice, I will be miserable as fuck. So, like, yeah, that's how TT came in. And like a maid, a woman of servitude. A woman of servitude. And if you want to know what that looks like and what it all leads to, just go to Jasmine's Instagram. She looks tired. She looks drained. She looks like the life has been sucked out of her. Very similar to Melanie. Very similar to Melanie. Because disrespect drains. Constantly being in servitude of a man and you're bearing his children drains the life out of you. Some of you are windmilling just to have that experience. And you know what? I'm not going to talk you out of it. Go get married. Go be happy. Okay? And I hope it all works out for you. I'm not one of those content creators that's going to tell you to not live your life. Just be smart. Don't be desperate. Don't be making choices and decisions from scarcity, because you're going to end up in a situation that you will hate. Seriously. And you will be miserable in it because you were desperate. You chose from scarcity, or as if you were going to miss out. You have to think that, you have to believe. It's not even think. You have to believe that what's for you is for you and it will find you. But if you're in scarcity and you think it's going to miss you, well, yeah, you're going to be desperate. You're going to make a dumb choice. You're going to choose a crazy situation that just leads to misery. That's all it leads to, is misery. Sometimes being single is the better choice. But that doesn't mean that if a good guy comes along, like a Carl, that's actually being genuine and not performative, that you shouldn't take that opportunity. You should. You really should, because at that point, it's about what you deserve, right? But you can't just automatically just choose somebody just because you're desperate and you feel like there's no other choice. There's no other options for you. Like, that's crazy. You're going to be in a fucked up, miserable situation. The better choice was your peace, which is singlehood. The better choice. Can't find a Carl, then it's your singlehood. If you can't find a Jalen from last season, like I keep saying, that was a good black man. Yeah, like if you can't find a Jalen, then your better choice is singlehood, your peace. People love to judge single women that are single, no kids. But one thing that y'all never look out for, and this is something that I always looked out for, it's the reason why I looked up to certain women when I was a young woman, was that woman didn't have what society says that she should have, but she also didn't have what she didn't want. She also didn't have what she didn't want. She also didn't have what she didn't want.
And you know, when I talked to my girlfriends about it, I was like, oh, how you guys?
Because Jasmine has some shit she don't want. And the only reason why we know she don't want it is because she talked against it. She talked out against it. That's the reason why we know that she got some shit that she don't want. But she has what society says would make her happy, would make her feel fulfilled.
Doing it, I'm just like, girl, he's rotten. I'm like, he's spoiled rotten. Like, he's rotten. But I love that. Like, I want him to be that. I think my biggest flex is how I treat my man. And I've been known to love people back to health.
Ooh.
And sometimes it's very draining, but my love is my superpower. And I used to hate that about myself, but now it's like, I'm just embracing it. Like, that's who I am. Like, if I love you, I can heal you.
It's your joy.
It is my joy. You know, I love to see him eating the meal that I cooked. I love seeing him sleep easy every night, like clockwork.
I'm sorry, y'all, but this is Tier. This is the energy Tier came in with. It's the reason why Casey compared her to his mama and his sister. This it's just the energy. Now, do I give TT grace? Absolutely. She's 25. I even give KC grace. He's 23. He still got time to turn his life around. He do. But I don't agree with I don't agree with the things that he says. Like, it's such a red flag. Like, it just is. I can't overlook the red flag of it all. But he got time to turn his life around. Trinity got time to pick somebody else. Let me see. This is the problem, though. This is the issue with women today. You don't know your worth and your value outside of men being centered, men being worshipped. You don't know your place. That's the reason why you don't see anything wrong with Casey saying you are now worthy of being my girl, my girlfriend. You don't see anything wrong with that. It's because of male worship, male centering, the patriarchy. Like, you really, in your mind, you don't know your place outside of that.
A lot of women don't realize the power that they have and the gift that they have just by being a woman. They don't use it. Okay, they're too busy trying to be somebody's mama and maid, and they're not using their full potential. You know what I'm saying? Use your full potential, baby. You can get the most out of your life.
Anytime y'all don't want to listen to me, I'm just gonna play Share 7. I'm just play Share 7. Like, there's literally an archive on TikTok when it comes to my opinions and what I want to say, and all I gotta do is type it in. Maid, mama. What did I type in? Literally, she has a whole archive on there. Let me see. I'm trying to see what I put in here. I put in here. Where's it at? Oh, natural women are ready for housework. Share 7.
You're just walking around looking like somebody's mama and maid. You're not going to reach your full potential. Okay, you need to own who you are, hold your power, and be that main character energy as well. You could be.
Now, you know who also played this same role? I love patterns. You know who also played the same role? Clark from last season. Clark played this same role. And Cher said, you're never going to live up to your true potential. Let me go ahead and play that again.
Reach your full potential. If you're just walking around looking like somebody's mama and maid, you're not going to reach your full potential. Okay, you need to own who you are, hold your power, and be that main character energy as well. You could be a mom.
But listen, so Clark wasn't trying to be like his mom and everything, but she was trying to be a co-star to him being a main character when Clark could have been a main character. Seriously. And she should have been. And see, that's the reason why I like Olandria and Nick. They're main characters. They have a brand together, right? They have this relationship together, but they also have they're main characters in their own business ventures and things like that. They're not all up under each other. That's one thing that I love about their dynamic. It's so healthy. It's so real. They're young. They still have so much time. They don't have to be all up under each other all day, every day. They're chasing their goals and their dreams. That's what you should be doing around that age. While also nurturing a relationship. It's a healthy dynamic. So Clark did not do that. She played the role of being the supporting character to Taylor when Clark was on that show, and she had a fan base as well. And the only thing she had to do was nurture her fan base, and she didn't do that. And now it's being alleged. I've done a video on it, but I will, where Taylor is seen out here possibly allegedly cheating on her. And we should have known that that shit was coming after Beyond the Villa. Cause I saw the clips and I'm like, it don't seem like he really support what you trying to do for yourself at all. Which would explain why she was up under him to begin with. He didn't really want her to go off and do her own thing. He wanted her right up under her serving him.
Well, but you need to understand who you are, and you don't need to act like just somebody to blend into the background. You are the main character. Okay. Some of y'all dress and walk and talk like y'all want to blend into the background and go unnoticed. And that's what happens to y'all. So it's your choice. You got to choose. I see some women that do the least and looking for the most, and that's not how it works. You doing the least with your looks and looking for a man that looks way better than you, and you want him to provide. What he gonna provide for? You don't want to be seen out in public with somebody that look like who did it and why. So y'all have.
This goes for Kata. That woman is beautiful. Getting her time wasted like that is disgusting to watch. Melanie, I don't understand it. I seriously do not understand it. Tierra, as you notice, I'm calling her Tierra, right? She's grown on me a lot. Tierra. And Anaya. In real time, we watched Anaya choose better for herself. In real time. And another thing that I noticed, because people are like, well, how do you know what Carl is genuine? Did y'all see the bracelets that he gave her? Did y'all see the spiritual bracelets that he gave her? I looked into those spiritual bracelets and I looked into what it means. And he's Buddhist, and the bracelets, you don't give those to someone casually. Like, that's very serious. So I'm not looking for Carl to close things off with Anaya. I'm not looking for Carl to make Anaya his girlfriend. That's fake and that's performative. But I did see the bracelets that he gave her, and I saw the meanings behind the bracelets, and I felt like that meant way more than being girlfriend and being closed off. That was beautiful as hell, and we didn't even see it. It was something that they probably shared intimately between the two of them, that we didn't even see them exchange the bracelet at all. You just pop up and you see Anaya with these bracelets on her wrists. And I looked into what it means from his well, I don't want to say it's really his spiritual journey and reality, like his belief system basically. And I'm like, wow, that's so beautiful. Like, that's so beautiful. Basically gave her those bracelets for healing, transformation. That's what I'm saying. When I'm looking for a red flag in Carl, and I just keep finding green ones.
To be realistic with yourselves and what you look like and your targets. Okay.
I don't know why they're settling, and they're so beautiful. It doesn't make any sense to me. They seem smart, like they do. Jasmine, smart, talented, beautiful. I don't get it either. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. I need someone to explain it, because it doesn't make any sense.
How come the natural girls are getting married and wifed up? Because they look like they're ready for housework, ma'am. Sprinkle. Do I look like I'm ready for housework? No, ma'am. Okay. Sprinkle. Do I look like I know how to iron and stuff? I sure don't. I'm throwing your stuff in a dryer with a bounce.
I'm just reminding y'all what it means to be in servitude. That's all. That's it. Some of y'all are auditioning for that role. And I feel so bad for you. You're gonna be locked up in the house somewhere, wishing you would have listened to what we are saying. Seriously. And some of you are so young. Like, you're so young. You have so much more to experience in life than just men. I mean, you really do. Like, you really do. You really do. You have so much more to experience in life than just men. And this is the thing. It's when the choices are bad, because I know how y'all like to think in extremes. So I got to keep over explaining myself, because y'all like to think in extremes. When the choices are bad and you're not being valued, you're not being appreciated, yeah, like, you should choose singlehood, because at that point you're just going to be miserable as fuck with a man. Literally. Like, what do people not understand? Y'all are so extreme that you're not getting it. It's not that you need to be single forever. It's that if the choices are bad, right? Like this cast of men that we're talking about, then your better choice is singlehood. That's the point. That's literally what I'm saying. That is the point. It's the reason why I stopped dating, because I kept having like awful experiences. And I'm just like, maybe I'm forcing it. And I don't want to force it. I feel like love is supposed to be genuine. I have two parents, and I talk about it all the time. Watching my mom go through cancer, I saw up close what it really means for a man to love you. It means that he shows up for you. Seriously, he may not know how. That's the thing. My dad opened up to me about it. He's like, I don't know how to really be there, but I'm going to be there though. I'm going to show up anyway. He didn't know how to be there. And you know, there's the saying, I'm not going to get into who said it because I really don't rock with them like that, but the saying is men are incapable of love, right? There's truth to that. I'm never going to downplay that. But after watching my mom go through cancer and like seeing that shit up front for myself, men don't know how to love in the way that I feel like we want or we desire as women. But if you have a good man, he will love you in the way that you need when you're in your time of need. And if he doesn't know how to, he never loved you. And that is what my father showed me. That is what he showed me. He didn't know how, but he showed up anyway. And he didn't know how, but he still showed up in her time of real need, where he didn't get anything out of it at all. Nothing, because she had nothing to give. She couldn't give. That's when you know. So this is not coming from trauma and projection. This is coming from like really seeing it for real and seeing it up close. So yeah, that's when you know. But if it's just conditional, it's transactional, and it's the reason why Cher is out here saying you better get to the bag. Because if you're gonna be a maid, at least you're getting paid for it. You better get to the bag. At least your kids will be able to go to private school if you're gonna be a maid for it. That's basically what she's saying. That's basically what she's saying, because she understands men. She understands men, and she understands that they want to be served. That's all. But some of y'all are windmilling to be in this. Y'all windmilling to be a maid, to be a cook. And that's what happened to Jasmine. She was up in that mansion, and y'all was trying to tell me, oh, she getting a bag. She getting a bag. Girl, she is working hard labor. She was up in that mansion cooking for 9 people, and she just had a baby, and she going through postpartum. She over here eating in the corner trying to shove the food down her throat real fast, because she has to attend to her baby, and then she has to attend to these 9 other people. 8 of them, they not her kids. That's what y'all windmilling for.
Take me out to eat. I look too good to stay at home. Or you got to order some DoorDash because I don't feel like cleaning up no kitchen. I'm not washing dishes. When I step out the house, your heart gonna start beating faster out of worry. I'm not the safe choice. I'm the bold choice. Sprinkle, sprinkle. I'm not the safe choice, believe me. If you marry me, it's not a safe choice. I already been married. It would. I'm widowed now. But if I were ever trying to get married again, which I'm not.
This is another thing too. Never be impressed by a woman who has a man. Anyone can get a man. Any woman can get a man, y'all. It's not hard. I always say put out some dog food. Stray dog would come wagging his tail. Literally. Literally. But you should be impressed by a woman who is married and is kept. She's healthy. She has a glow. She has a spark. She looks well rested. She's emotionally regulated, and she is emotionally stable. Her mental health is good. Everything is just easy for her. Be impressed by that. But don't be impressed by a woman that got a man like that. Girl, that's crazy. Be impressed by a woman that is emotionally regulated, emotionally stable. She has her glow, she has her spark. Like Rihanna got a man too. She got a lot of money, and she also got a man. And y'all see what's happening to that? That's crazy. The public embarrassment, the draining of her energy. Never be impressed by a woman that has a man, because if you are impressed by a woman that has a man, you probably carry the mentality that it's better to have a piece of a man than to not have a man at all. That's the mentality that you really carrying. But be impressed by the woman that has a man that truly loves, values, and appreciates her just for who she is, because that's humility. That's what that is. That's a man seeing your humanity. And that's what I see in Carl when it comes to Anaya. He sees her humanity. He sees her humility. He sees her flaws too. He's not dumb. He's not blind. He sees that as well. But he sees her value. Like he sees her worth. He sees it. That's what you should be impressed with. But a man, having a man, I'm not impressed by that. I'm always impressed by a woman glowing and you got that man by your side. That's beautiful to me.
I am not the safe choice.
Okay. Let's get into my next point. Let me go ahead and play this because I thought this was interesting.
New information! I just reposted a video of Carl's friends coming. Guys, I just had lunch. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. I'm excited. Carl's friends just came online, and they just did like a little Q&A. guys. That man is exactly what we see in the villa. That is exactly what we see in the villa. His friends are vouching for him. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you something. Birds of a feather flock together. Okay? If you're ever wondering if good men exist out there, those men spoken classy and eloquent. Okay? We could tell. I love it. They basically say that he's like just genuinely a nice guy, and not just like a fake nice guy like the movie Bear, like the movie Obsession with Bear, the character is like, oh, he's a nice guy. Like, no, he's genuinely a good person. His friends seem like really nice people, the way that they talk about him. I'm sorry, but like, you can see the difference between how Soul's friend was talking about her and how these guys are talking about Carl. They genuinely talk about him in such a nice and high and good positive way. And it reminds me a little bit of like my husband, in the sense of like, good men exist. And
she said her husband.
Women should never settle for the bare minimum or whatever when good men exist out there. Okay, that is the premise and the point of the video. Do not settle for anything less than what you think you deserve. Now, I personally think that, they said...
And this is another thing too, because I know a lot of y'all have an issue me being a Black woman and being able to recognize a healthy male just being a healthy male, but the color of his skin, it rubs some of y'all really, really bad. It rubs y'all really, really in the wrong way. But I just don't like dysfunction. I don't like toxicity. It's not about skin complexion. I think some of you can't see beyond that. That's not a me problem. That's a you problem. Because if there was a healthy Black man, then I would be like, he's a healthy Black man. She should go with him. It's the reason why I like Jalen from last season. That was like the best Black male representation that I've seen so far on reality TV, to be honest. So y'all are making this about race, and it's about integrity, and it's about character. It's about character. Those are things that I look for. Those are things that I encourage other women to look for first, before you look at anything else. Integrity, character. Integrity, character. If a man don't have these two things, I don't even know why you're talking to him. I don't know why you're talking to him at all. So if you feel like because this person is Black or whatever, and that's the first person you should go towards, have you ever thought about why the Black community is so dysfunctional and so toxic, that maybe we shouldn't continue to choose based off of trauma and survival mode? That maybe we should genuinely pick out people and select people that are truly healthy and functional? Because, the whole India Irie situation, seeing how Black people are responding, I'm just like, this is exactly why I don't want kids. Because what y'all not getting about that? Y'all calling India Irie a bird? Seriously? And it's so crazy because I like the song too. It's catchy. It's fun. Right? But I can also take in what my elders are telling me because it's coming from wisdom. India Irie has literally gave so much to Black women and young girls in a system that has told us to hate ourselves. And y'all are saying that she's a bird? And then y'all wonder why I don't want to have kids. I don't want to bring my kids into this shit, because the Carmelo Anthony situation also told me that prison culture is very much thick in our culture. It is. Touch me and find out. That's prison talk. I don't want my son saying no dumbass shit like that, because in what world where you're a functioning adult where you can say touch me and find out and you still have a job? Oh wait, you won't have a job. You will lose your job, right? What world do you live in where you can say, touch me and find out? The only way you can do that type of shit is in prison, jail. You are aware, right? Touch me and find out. Yeah, your ass is going to prison. You going to jail. The fuck? That's why I'm just like, and stop asking me about kids. Cause like if the culture is gonna support me raising my kids, I don't like the culture. The culture is dysfunctional and it's toxic. Y'all put degenerate behavior on a pedestal and y'all give it so much praise. And then y'all make it about white people. And it's like, no, it's not about white people. Because one thing that I also noticed too about the Carmelo Anthony situation, there's a huge divide in our community and culture as well. I saw the niggas, I saw the coons, I saw the Negroes, and I saw the awakened ones. The niggas, emotionally dysfunctional, not regulated, survival mode, trauma, they just dysfunctional. The coons, they tap dancing for the white man. That shit was disgusting. I'm like, what the hell? Extreme. I can't get with it. The Negroes, they're still in the conditioning of the system, right? Like they can't see beyond certain points because they're not awakened. Now listen, I love the Negroes. Don't ever get it twisted. The Negroes, I love all of y'all really, but I just can't rock with some of the shit that y'all be saying and doing. But the Negroes, it takes time for them to awaken. So I give you a lot of grace and understanding about that, because to fight out of that, it takes rebelling up against everything that you've been told and everything you've been taught, and that starts with Christianity. So a lot of y'all not gonna get that far. Then lastly, the awakened ones, we see everything. We literally see everything. We see the system for what it is. We see racism. We see the dysfunction in our community. We also see the conditioning of it all. We see the conditioning of the Negro, where the Negro must suppress themselves in order to function in the system. We see it all, right? And we don't condone any of it because we're awakened. So we see everything. We see through the bullshit. We see through the dysfunction. We see through the manipulation. We see it all. So it was hard to watch the Carmelo Anthony situation. It's hard to watch a lot of things nowadays because you see through all the bullshit. So even when it comes to this conversation about, like, you know, black women choosing what's healthy, the Negro, the black woman Negro is not supposed to choose what's healthy. She's supposed to continue to choose what's familiar because it keeps her suppressed. It keeps her in survival mode. That's what it does. So when India Irie was speaking, she was like, anyone that's awakened, you're not the nigga, you're not the coon, and you're not just the Negro, because the Negro is still under their conditioning. Anyone that knows how the system works, high vibrational sound affects your nervous system. High vibrational sound affects your luck in life. High vibrational sound also elevates you to a point where good things can find you. But if you're in survival mode and you're only relating to your survival mode, like spin that, right? Then you're not going to be able to elevate and push past certain barriers and thresholds in this lifetime and in this reality, because you're not conditioned to do so. So India Irie is a healer. She heals us with her music. She's always healed us with her music. She sees that and she wants more for her people. But I'm going to tell her that not everybody can be saved. The damage is done. And it is what it is. So I love her and I will always appreciate her for who she is, a healer, a black woman, a woman that has always uplifted us, me. I remember when I was a young girl, I used to listen to her songs all the time. Seriously, she has taught me so much about womanhood, black womanhood at that. So to call her a bird is so insane to me. So insane. But to understand her, though, you have to be awakened. To understand her, you may just be a Negro. You may understand her at the Negro level, but you still may be under that conditioning. But you may not see it as a big deal. Like, what's the big deal? And it's like the system working on its own, meaning us as people, we don't have to keep blaming the white man. The system is doing what the system has been built to do, to keep you where you are at. And here India Irie comes in. It's like, hey, let me show you a better way. But no, the system is now coming in saying, no, we like it here. It's just music. Da da da. It's the system. Go look at the system. When you look at the system, you'll see the pyramid. Entertainment, Yeah, that's a part of the system. So as soon as she comes in, the awakened healer, and she's telling you, hey, increase your vibration. So then you can come out of survival mode. So you can actually have peace. You can actually experience heaven on earth. You're rejecting it. Why? Because of entertainment, the media. And you've been taught to, you've been conditioned to reject that. So a lot of people don't understand that, but they're making it about, oh, it's because of the validation of white people. I feel like there's a difference between impressed and impression. Everyone should want to make a good impression in the system. Like everyone should want to. I mean, it's just like if you were to go on a job interview, you would want to make a good impression, right? And I feel like in our community, we don't pride ourselves off of the impression that we make on others, and we should. We should. It's a pride thing. It should be a part of our culture to make a good impression on others. But you shouldn't be going to the levels of, I want to impress them. I want to be validated by them. And that's when the coons, that's when they lose me every single time, because it just becomes this thing where it's like, I want their validation. And it's just like, please stop. Stop. Like, they don't like you. They never will, because you're black. And it's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. But the impression that you give others, I do think that matters, because you should take pride in who you are. You should take pride in your culture and how it's being represented. And you shouldn't want the degenerate behavior to be the first impression or the only impression. Like, you should want your best to be shown. And listen, that type of music has always been around, but the issue is, it's been seen in spaces like nightclubs. Music can be heard after hours, but now it's like that shit is played during the day. You don't got to go to the nightclub. Hell, you could go to the hair store and hear that music. You can go to the hair store during the day. You can go to the hair store. It could be 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's what you're hearing. So it used to be a time where that type of stuff was played at a certain hour or in a certain space. But now it's just all out in the open. And when my niece was here, and I'm like, ooh, girl, we can't just put this on shuffle. That's when I was like, ooh, India Irie ain't wrong. She not wrong. She not wrong. She not wrong. Ooh, yes, I've been meaning to talk about this, but hold on, let me stay focused. Let me one topic at a time. But I was like, yeah, and then I'm also in Houston, and another thing too, when my niece was here, they always playing music loud. And I'm just like, ooh, I don't want my niece listening to that. I don't want her I don't want her taking in those lyrics. That's when I was like, damn. So yeah, children. And then remember when we were coming up and they used to make those remakes to make it kid friendly? What happened to that? Do they still do that? Because the song is catchy, the beat is fun, but it's just like, ooh, I don't want, ooh, ooh, it's a lot. It's a, yeah, Kids Bop. So I'm not here to say like this type of music, it don't need to be around. I mean, it kind of always been around, but there used to be a boundary. There used to be a standard, you know? But now it's just like anything goes nowadays. And that's exactly why I ain't trying to raise kids in this mess, because I'm just like, how am I going to teach my kid that's not okay? But then I'm in the car like, yeah, like that on that's a contradiction. That's a contradiction. So, yeah, it actually had me look completely different, like, damn, me condoning this song. I'm like, yeah, it's catchy and yeah, it's fun, but I'm like, I wouldn't want my niece embracing what it's influencing in the lyrics. I'm just like, no, 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 that's not it. Why? Because it will land her in jail. That's why. Again, why is jail and prison culture so thick in our community? Like, have y'all ever questioned that? Have you ever questioned why it's so thick, and why is it encouraging young people to end up there? Because that's basically what it's encouraging. It's encouraging young people to end up there. And we all know who wants us there, right? So why are we pushing it? That's what I want you to think about.
You know, I think obviously it does peeve everybody that he is quote unquote the second choice, but like, they ship them. So if they ship them, what is your issue? Why are you like, oh well, Carl just wants to stay in the villa? Like, I genuinely don't think that man needs the money. I don't think he needs to stay in the villa. I don't think he needs the notoriety. He seems like the kind of person to be actually kind of a little bit private, and even his friends said that he's an introvert. So I'm just here to say that Carl and I are real. I'm here to say that they are very much being shipped by his family and his friends. Oh, I love it.
Honestly, regardless of if their relationship works out or not, I do feel like that's a healthy male. It's not giving red pill. It's not giving toxicity. Carl just gives me a healthy male. Do I believe a black man or a man of color could exhibit his traits? Absolutely, because it's about traits. It's not about his skin complexion. And again, I feel like Carl and Jalen from last season, they mirror each other. That's the same energy. That's the same vibe that I got. Jalen is a black man. Carl just happens to be white, but they mirror each other as far as how they carry themselves, their character, their integrity. That was something that I got from the both of them. So I don't understand, like, what is the issue for me to be able to recognize it then versus now? It's the same thing. However, Mick, no, Olandria and Nick just had a more compatible connection. That was literally it. But I still felt like Jalen was such a great choice, and the girls were not agreeing with me. But I'm just like, y'all don't see him being a good choice. He's such a great choice. So that's just my opinion. That's just my perspective on the whole thing. Also, when it comes to the men of this season, the reason why I don't trust them is because they're performers.
But sisters, understand that this is the game. I'm gonna tell you everything just to get the cookie. No, the cookie. We want the cookie.
Now, in this situation, when it comes to the men of Love Island, they're not trying to, well, some of them are trying to get the cookie. They want the cookie too, but they're also trying to get what? Clout, fame, brand deals, so money. Did you not hear what Cam said? And these are the toxic of the most toxic of the most toxic men that I've ever seen, really, on reality TV. I mean, every now and then you'll have like reality TV's villain, but like this is like the worst cast I've personally ever have seen. I haven't seen this much dysfunction in so many different men at one time. I'm like, oh my God, there's only one man on here that's just kind of decent. So let me play that again. I'm glad y'all throwing in Bryce, because I keep trying to tell y'all this ain't a race thing. Bryce rubbing me the wrong way too. I don't know why y'all don't see it, but I'm gonna give you this one. I'm gonna give you this little nugget. Why is he gravitating towards Zach? Why has he always constantly gravitated towards Zach? Zach is sneaky. Zach is sneaky. And Zach gives me that the producers are in his ear. And you know, Zach reminds me of Ace from last season. I don't know why. I don't know why. So let me play this again. Let me play this again. Let me play this again. And yes, ladies, when you discern a man, who he gravitates towards will tell you a lot about who he is. Stop downplaying that. Stop overlooking that. Now, if Bryce would have gravitated towards Carl after Carl got into the villa, I would feel differently. But no, he has been on Zach's hip this entire time. This entire time. And then if Bryce was such a good guy, right? Why is Zach still a douchebag? Like, you're going to Zach for advice and things like that. Why are you not improving? Why is it that Kata and Zach have to find out through America, right? In the voting that, yeah, we not really rocking with you like that. Why is Bryce not holding you accountable in that way? Being real with you, being honest with you in that way. They've been buddy this whole time. Unless Bryce is a performer. Also, did you know that Bryce is an actor? Did you know that Bryce was an actor? He's actually been what show was he in? If you know what show he played in, please comment it, because I don't remember. But yeah, Bryce is also an actor. So like I said, okay, I can't make this shit up. I really can't. But yeah, like something's been rubbing me off about him for a while. And then I found out he was an actor and he's been in a TV show playing a character for a few different episodes. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What show was he on? Does anyone know? So let me play this again. This was the first thing that my father ever taught me about men. This was the first thing that my dad ever told me about men. It was the reason why I remained a virgin for so long, was because at 8 years old, my dad literally said, a man will tell you anything that you want to hear just for the cookie. And yes, I was 8 years old, and that was the language and the verbiage that he used at 8. And it was because he felt like he didn't have that much time with me because I was developing fast physically. So he told me that at 8 years old. My dad told me this. So when I see Cam Newton sitting up here saying that, I'm like, wow, my dad told me this at like 8. So yeah, he was afraid that if he didn't get to me before other men did, that I would be like, my mind would be compromised. So he told me at 8 years old. Then I remember by the time I had turned 9, I went to visit family in Mississippi, and the women were like, oh girl, you gonna be hippie, girl, you gonna have a nice body. Ooh, girl, your dad is gonna have a tough time. It was that conversation because I was developing faster than the girls my age. And so that's what my dad was concerned about. So he told me very young. He was like, listen, this is what it is. You need to be careful.
But sisters, understand that this is the game. I'm gonna tell you everything just to get the cookie. No, the cookie. We want the cookie.
Okay. He's so odd. And then he's so odd. I'm like, don't you have young daughters? He's such an odd person. I don't get it. But yeah, so my dad told me this at 8. And yeah, like I don't have a life that I hate. So I appreciate his honesty. I didn't really understand it when I was younger, but the older I get, the more I understand it and the more I appreciate it. The older I get. I appreciate my dad for being honest. Very blunt, and at first I thought he was just hurting my feelings because I'm like, damn. But no, he was just being honest and he was being protective. And sometimes protection is honesty. Sometimes protection is a man seeing the situation for what it is and just being honest with you. That's all. Yeah, he's disgusting. He's very disgusting.
I'm a good guy until after I get the cookie.
These men are gonna be a good guy until after they win their prize. Like, listen, and then I think these girls have been given fries and all of this type of shit. Girl, that's why I'm saying, like, listen, when this season wraps up and we see them out in the wild, we see them out in the real world. Okay, if these men still acting the way that they acting now, all right, I was wrong. I was wrong. But if they switch up, go back and listen to what Kim is saying. Okay, and take that in, just like I did when I was 8 and my dad kept it real with me.
Oh, baby, I want you around before I don't get the cookie. Baby, we love you, but we adore you more when we get the cookie.
At this point, y'all, I think I'm going to make this a part of my intro just to remind y'all that men will literally perform until they get what they want from you. This is not new information. This has been around for ages, decades, centuries. It's crazy that you have Melanie. Well, she's 25. I have to remember she's 25. That women are still falling for this. Seriously. Even when I went off to college, I remember my older brother. He sat me down right before I went off to college my freshman year, and he said, the guys, the boys at your school, they're gonna have a girlfriend back at home. Don't fall for anything that they tell you on campus. So I never lost my virginity because I never fell for the bullshit. I remember my freshman year, all the girls that had these relationships on campus, yeah, that shit was fake. And all those girls was going through heartbreak and all of that. And I'm just like, my brother was right. My brother was right. Men lie. That's what they do. When they want something, they want to get something from you, or they benefit somehow. Yeah, they're gonna tell you whatever you want to hear. They're gonna tell you that. That's what Sincere did. Did y'all? When that man was like, "Oh, yeah, I want to be married. I want to." No, he said, "I want to be engaged. I want to be married. I have kids." I was like, "Future faking? Are we for real, Sincere? Are you serious?" Did y'all believe? Just give me a 1 in the chat if you believe Sincere when he said that shit. Please. 1 in the chat if you believed it. 2 in the chat if you didn't. I just need to know I'm not crazy because what? Like what? I was like, kids, marriage. What? Like what is I couldn't believe he said that. I couldn't believe he said that. I was like, no. 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 Hold on. Let me go ahead and play this too.
I do think there's a gap in understanding in like why people don't really want Casey and TT to win Love Island. And I think some people think it's just because people just hate Casey and they
Now listen, I'm gonna be so real with y'all. Because I feel like this is the worst cast of men, I just decided to vote for everybody black. I voted for every black woman that was up there. I did. I did. I voted for Sincere. Well, not Sincere. I voted for Melanie. I voted for Trinity. I voted for Anaya, and I voted for Tier. I voted for Anaya first. I voted for Tierra second. Yep, I voted for Tierra second. And then who else? I think after that, Trinity came third, and then Melanie came fourth. That's how I voted. I voted everybody black. Everybody black woman. Okay. And the reason I did that was because I'm like, well, shit. If Amaya could win last season for sympathy, who am I? If Huda could win and come in fourth place, who am I? You know, so I'm just like, yeah, that's how I voted. I voted. I voted because at this point, this ain't about relationships. At this point, this is about clout and brand deals. The only ones that I think that will actually come out and genuinely have a relationship, unfortunately, is just Anaya and Carl. That's it. So everybody else, I'm just hoping they eat. I'm hoping they get the brand deals, and I'm hoping that they get everything that they want, and I hope they get away from these men because I just think they're all awful choices. Like I like no, I wouldn't want this for y'all for real, for real. I really wouldn't.
just hate Tierra and blah blah blah. And it's like sure, right? Like sure they got the haters. But more than that, beyond that, I think people just don't like the fan base. I don't think they like what the people have now named Casey Defenders. Because
Casey Defenders, NBA players. You know, the Klay Thompsons of the world. You know when y'all were telling me when the whole Megan Thee Stallion situation was happening, it's like, oh, she should have known better. He played in the NBA. Well, his biggest defenders are NBA players.
Defenders are full of self-proclaimed nice guys, incels, red pill men in the manosphere, hell boy moms, a bunch of different niche subgroups of misogynists, whether those are male misogynists or women who have fallen victim to like internalized misogyny or have not unlearned or are walking around with unchecked internalized misogyny. And I know sometimes
and the women that have the internalized misogyny, you're not giving men passes. Like you're giving men passes. You're not giving them a chance. To the point where you literally have to overlook obvious red flags, like obvious signs that this is not it, but you'll overlook it for the sake of the man. And it's weird because when you do that, you're fucked. You're literally fucked. And that's what I don't understand. It's like, do women not understand that when you put the man on a pedestal so high and you make yourself out of reach, that you are fucking yourself over? Are you not aware that it's you losing? I'm a winner. So I'm never gonna go for no shit like that. I'm a winner. We win. That's all we do is win. That's crazy. No, we're not doing that. Because a man ain't gonna ever make me look like a fool. So when you overlook things, you lose. That's what that is. When you downplay things that you shouldn't be downplaying, when you try to make it seem like, oh, it's not a big deal, but it literally is because it leads to so many other issues, unspoken things. But it's a huge indicator that it could lead to problems where you're fucked. But you're going to downplay it. You're going to overlook it. You're going to act like, oh, no, it's not a big deal. It's not. Da, 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 da. And that's what Melanie is doing. It's just terrible.
People hear misogyny, they just get scared and they're like, what? I don't hate women. I'm not beating up nobody. And no, you're probably not. But your actions, your thoughts, your ideologies, beliefs do lead to a world in which hating women is okay. It's
And that's the thing with Sincere. The only thing Sincere hasn't done is put hands on Melanie. He's done everything else though. Like literally, he's literally done everything else. But because he ain't put his hands on her, I guess he ain't that bad. According to America, he ain't that bad. He didn't put his hands on her or nothing like that. Huh? Woo wee.
Probably what you're perpetuating, and sometimes you don't even notice it, right? Like, I'm not saying that all of this is conscious behavior. Sometimes it's subconscious.
That's
because
crazy.
people don't just like him, right? People don't just like him and TT. People like what he did to Anaya. People like the idea of him feeling vindicated. People like the idea that he should be championed, not just for his decision to choose TT, but for the ways in which he hurt Anaya. They will say he did not disrespect Anaya. He did not hurt her feelings. Even if he did hurt her feelings, it doesn't matter because she was annoying. That's what she gets.
Even though when he was watching movie night, his reaction really spoke for itself. I didn't have to say nothing. Did y'all not see how he was reacting during movie night? I don't gotta say nothing. He said it all for me just by how he was reacting, watching himself on that big screen, because it made him uncomfortable. And then he had all these people watching. It's called peer pressure. But yeah, he was uncomfortable. He didn't even like how he showed up.
Stupid. She's an idiot. She's this, she's that. She never liked black men, right? You see how it goes from.
And then this another thing. I'm just now seeing this. I saw a thumbnail that was created with Anaya's face. And in the thumbnail, it was calling her dumb. The thumbnail was calling her dumb. You know, I've been in this space for 12 years. 12. And I know what a grift looks like. And the thing that really irritates me is when black women don't know how to detach when somebody switches up on you. Now, that thumbnail was harmful as hell to black women, particularly dark-skinned black women. And if you don't think that that thumbnail was harmful as fuck, oh my gosh. That thumbnail is harmful. I would never create a thumbnail like that with a black woman's face. Y'all gotta like learn when to detach from people when they are showing you they have completely switched up. Because if you keep giving them the benefit of the doubt, they keep showing you like, no, this is who I am, this is who I am. And it's happening during Mercury retrograde and Cancer. Man, that shit was disgusting. I was like, are we for real? Yeah, the plot is lost because what the fuck? The whole reason I supported that platform was because it was to advocate for black women on reality TV. It was to support black women on reality TV. It was to give black voices, black women voices on reality TV. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? That's why I was like, yeah, no. Like, learn how to detach. There was another woman that did that shit. And I'm not gonna say her name either. But she was saying one thing, then she transformed into a whole man, and you still got black women supporting that lady. And I'm just like, do y'all not understand when somebody switches up in real time that you need to learn how to detach? But you know what? It probably happens to you in real life. That friend done switched up on you, that family member done switched up on you, that man done switched up on you, and you still holding on to what was and not what is. That was what was. What is this person has completely switched up, done a complete 180 before your eyes, and you still attached. Why? You need to detach. You need to detach. I'm tired of seeing that. I'm like, what are we doing? Oh, y'all, that is crazy. And then it's just, yeah, yeah. And I saw the signs last season with Olandria, and I'm like, you know what? You know, I'm putting two and two together, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing. I'm not liking what I'm seeing. I'm not liking what I'm seeing. And I definitely peeped that. And I'm just like, and y'all still supporting it? That's crazy. That's crazy.
Not disrespect Anaya. He did not hurt her feelings. Even if he did hurt her feelings, it doesn't matter because she was annoying. That's what she gets. She's stupid. She's an idiot. She's this, she's that. She never liked black men, right? You see how it goes from, oh, he didn't do anything wrong at all, to actually, here's everything that she did wrong instead, and I'm going to attack her for it.
I honestly felt like they both did wrong, and I felt like there were areas in both of them that they could have corrected. Like, first of all, I've been saying this, and I said this in my last video that was on members only. Sometimes Anaya shows me signs that she is not emotionally mature. I said that. I literally said also that when it comes to I want to say Casey and Anaya, I felt like the only compatibility that they had was emotional immaturity. They were immature. That's how they connected. That was the only compatibility that they had was immaturity. Carl challenges her to be more mature. KC allowed her to be immature because he didn't really raise the bar for her. You know what he did? He ran and talked shit about her behind her back to his friends. They're both immature. Both. So I loved, and I will go back and I'll show you again. I will show you again what I said because it's like people keep downplaying this, but I genuinely felt this way. I felt like this was the perfect way to end things because I felt like they were both just childish and just dysfunctional. This was the perfect way to end the whole discourse on Casey and Anaya. It really was. I felt like it was a beautiful moment. I felt like it was a great example of how, when it comes to Black men and Black women in relationships, like how we should handle conflict, disagreements, how we can recognize and take accountability for the role in the chaos that we played. I'm not telling you to take accountability for what you did not do. I'm telling you to take accountability for the role that you played in the chaos, in the dysfunction, in the toxicity. And I felt like in that moment, that's what was being shown. That was what was being mirrored to us. And I was hoping that that's what Black men and women would take away from it. But you know what I learned? People don't know how to let stuff go. Once accountability is taken, learn how to let what happened go so you can move forward. That's what it's about. It's about moving forward. We reached an understanding, right? So we see each other, we understand each other, we have some type of some type of love or at least likeness, right? So to where we can move forward and genuinely just be cordial. I thought it was great, but you know what? The internet won't let it go. The internet won't let it go. So I don't know. I let, like, once they hashed it out and they had their moment, I seriously let it go because I was like, well, if they let it go, I wasn't even a part of the situation, so I'm not gonna hold on to it. So I'm gonna let it go so I can let it move on and be lighter in my energy. But people don't know how to let it go. I don't know why.
I do think there's a gap in understanding.
So let me go back.
A lot of his fan base has done. They've done the championing him for his behavior, and then somehow it spills into why his behavior should be rewarded and why that harm is actually doing good. Quote unquote, harm doing good, harm doing good. And we're talking about this behavior on a show that girls have called Barbie Land, right? That we have said has historically catered to women and has been about the women, about the women's journey to find love. It's been about the women's friendships that they build. The guys are cool, right? They may be funny, they may be charming, they may be everything in between, but a lot of you aren't going to NBA basketball games to see the cheerleaders, are you?
Right.
They're a great plus, but they're not the point.
This is our NBA. This is our NFL. Like, y'all, I used to be a sports player, y'all, and I don't be trying to keep up with stats and teams and all of that. And you don't see me all up in the men's spaces telling them da 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 da. Like, I don't even care. I don't care. And I played basketball at the highest level. Like, I don't care. I do not care about what's going on at all. Why are they in Love Island space? That is so weird to me. We can't have nothing. We can't have nothing.
Of what the energy of Love Island was. And now, if Casey is to win, right, it'll then set a precedent of what behavior we think is okay from a man, whether he apologizes for it or not. Because mind you, his fan base, his defenders, are saying that he had absolutely nothing to apologize for. They are actually saying the production made him apologize and he didn't mean it. And if they were to talk to him,
I actually did look into that spiritually. No, he genuinely did come to his own conclusion. He was pressured though. But the pressure didn't come from the producers. It came from the islanders. It came from the environment. There was a lot of tension. There was a lot of friction. He just didn't feel like he was that same lovable guy where he was being embraced in the way that he was at the beginning. So that was the catalyst for why he apologized. That was the catalyst for why he decided to take accountability. It was like a hybrid situation where it's like all of these different factors pressured him into apologizing. That's what I was told spiritually. So I was like, okay, that actually makes sense. Because I don't think that if it wasn't for the pressure of the environment, the islanders, and just America, because that was another thing. Another pressure too was from America, right? He kept saying, oh, America doesn't like me. America doesn't like me. So he really decided to reflect on the things that he said, the things that he was saying, and his behavior. And that's when he came to his own conclusion about, okay, you know what? I see where y'all are coming from. And you know what? I apologize and I take accountability. That's what happened. It was a catalyst situation. It was a hybrid situation. It was many different factors, and he came to that conclusion. And that's how he was able to take accountability and apologize.
They would tell him.
And that's all I wanted. I don't want nothing else from this man. He's 23 years old. I don't want nothing else from him. I like that. But then I feel like the issue now that I have with Casey is like, why didn't you just make things exclusive with you in Tier? Why did you make her a girlfriend? Like, that is such a red flag to me. That's more performative to me. If he would have closed things off, he was like, I at least owe her that security of closing things off with her. But like making her a girlfriend, that is just so fake to me. That is just so fake to me. I'm like, I feel like they needed more time to really develop in their connection. But he knew that if he made her the girlfriend, that would win over America. And that's what he's been trying to do. He's been trying to change the perception that America has on him. So that's why he decided to make her the girlfriend. And I felt like what would have been more genuine to me is, okay, she's been there for you. She stuck it out with you. To give her that security, you close it off. But to make her a girlfriend, that was performative and that was fake to me. My opinion.
Actually, what did you apologize for? You should have never said any of that. But a precedent will be set for behavior that we think is okay for men. And beyond that, the core audience will then shift. It will eventually no longer be a show that is catered towards women. It will be a show that is catered towards his defenders. It'll be a show that's catered towards incels, folks in the manosphere, red pill men, boy mom, folks are running around with unchecked misogyny, folks who don't want it checked, folks who will tell you, girl, what are you talking about? Anywho, whatever. And you don't just lose the heart of the show, you further normalize behavior that we were trying to get together in other places anyways.
Yeah. So y'all know I got to show y'all this. This was disgusting.
You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you can see that she's slipping.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
Well, I don't think it's a wig because a wig is not going to be secure for 6 weeks.
You know, y'all did this with AD on Love is Blind, and I was disgusted then, and I'm disgusted now. I was disgusted then, and I'm disgusted now. You can't say I'm not consistent because I don't like AD. I don't like. I think she a little bobblehead or whatever, but I don't feel like Black women deserve this level of critiquing, like at all. Like you'll never see this level of critiquing in other spaces when it comes to other women, just Black women. And what this is trauma. It's unresolved trauma. It's projection. That's it's insecurities. That's all it is. That is seriously all it is. Because me being a Black woman, her hair situation, first of all, I understood why she got curly because you would think curly would work, right? You just kind of use a little water, use a little conditioner, spray and go, right? Still protective, cool. Or you could do braids, right? You could do braids. She was trying to do something different. It didn't work, right? So as a Black woman knowing her situation, I'm not going to be nitpicking and negging her because her hair isn't perfect. If anything, I'm going to be understanding of me, myself, being a Black woman, trying something with my hair and it didn't really go the way that I thought it would, and leave her the fuck alone. Not point it out and highlight it to the whole world. Because one thing that you need to understand about non-Black people, they don't see what we see when it comes to our hair. Just you, just other Black people, they see it. But you pointing it out in front of the whole world, that's weird to me. And then some of y'all talking, some of y'all talking, and I be clicking on the profiles, and I'm like, the audacity of you to be speaking on anybody is insane. Is insane. I just come on. And if we gonna talk, we gonna go for look. Like, okay. So let first we gonna start with you take off the wigs, take off the lashes, strip everything away. Let me see what you really look like. Because you gotta understand, this is Anaya's worst day. Baby, what's your worst day? What it look like? What it look like? What's your worst day look like? Exactly. 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 This is a woman that is on a reality show. It's humid. She's been doing these crazy challenges, and you expect for her hair to be laid? And you know what? It just reminds me of when I played sports. I fried and dyed my hair knowing that I was going to sweat it out, breaking it off because of shit like this. Literally. I'm just like, y'all really doing this. Y'all are really doing this. I want to see you on your worst motherfucking day, because this is Anaya's worst day, and she still look good to me. She doing better than the most of you. Shit, that's just a fact. Body still T. Body still looking good. Skin glowing. What are we talking about? And then this is the reason why she feels like so much pressure. And then this is the thing. When you put pressure on a black woman like that, you putting pressure on yourself. Are you aware? Do y'all not remember what lip gloss said? Y'all remember lip gloss? To see black women nitpick like this, I'm like, this is so embarrassing. Y'all, you know who y'all turning out to be? Y'all turning out to be grandmama when you go over to her house and you just trying to spend some quality time, and the first thing she say is, you gaining weight, you getting big. Or because I've been on both sides, you getting too skinny, you getting too small. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I think she has either a U-part wigs that's been sewn in, or she has a well, I thought it was like a versatile flip over, but she's only right.
This is so ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. This is so ridiculous.
This side. I've seen it. Well, maybe she has. If she can do middle, I think it's a versatile sewing. That's what I think. And I'm really surprised she hasn't like finger oil.
But I thought you were gonna say.
Let me just blow this up. Do we have a compassion drought? I think we do. I think we do. I think we do. Because I couldn't get online fast enough after the Casey and Anaya situation. But even I was able to step into my compassion and let that situation go and just chalk it up as they were both emotionally immature. And that's what made them compatible to begin with. If they ever were really compatible, right? But like, seriously though, is there a compassion drought? Seriously? Is there? I don't understand it. I don't. I don't get it. It don't make no sense to me.
I woke up today disgusted, angry, furious, seeing what other black women are saying about Anaya's hair. Bullying this girl to shreds.
Girl, and then I saw another YouTuber that I enjoyed, and I'm just like, what is there something in the air? Like, is this something in the water? Is this something in the water, y'all? Seriously, you know what I think is in the water? You know what I think is in the air? Clout, money. You know, not everyone has integrity. And when they touch a certain amount of money off your back and your support, not everybody can handle that. Not everybody can handle that. Because I've been doing this for 12 years. And anyone that has done this long enough knows that dragging Black women on social media pays well. Well. Dogging out a Black woman, it pays extremely well. Do y'all not remember Kevin Samuels? That is a money maker. We're talking $30,000 a month. And that's me being that's me being that's me downplaying it a lot. This is why you got to learn how to remove your support and detach from people when they start to play in your face. There is a lot of money to be made when you drag a Black woman on social media. A lot of money. First of all, you get triggered. So you get the responses from Black women because they're triggered. Then you get the support of Black men and racists. There's a lot of money to be made because now you're catering to multiple different groups. Multiple. So I'm shocked. Like, I'm literally shocked, y'all. I am so shocked. I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. You know, it's so disappointing. And even though like these people would be considered peers of mine, it's still disappointing because you look up to them in a way, right? Because of the things that they say. Some of the things are just so their opinions and their thought process, it could be so thought-provoking and transformative in your own life. So to see them take this route, I'm disappointed. I don't know what else to say other than just extremely disappointed. Extremely. And then it exposes their character because you're just like, where do you even go from here? Because who I thought you were, you're showing me you're not. Because there would be some consistency, but it's not. And a lot of these people were fighting so hard against what Shelly and Olandria and even Clark, what they were facing last season. And I just don't know what was so different this season. And you know what was different? The Black man. The Black man. And you know what it is? They want her to tolerate the disrespect. And they wanted to coddle the rejection that he experienced. And that will never sit right with me. You want her to accept the disrespect because you don't like her. And you want to coddle the Black man that's experiencing rejection. Everyone experiences rejection. It's not just the Black man. Black women experience it. White men experience it. White women experience it. Hispanics, Asians, people experience rejection. It's literally a part of life. Disrespect is not. Disrespect is not a part of life at all. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. So that's what I wasn't understanding. I'm like, y'all want her to just suck it up when it comes to the disrespect, but with rejection, and it's a Black man, we got to coddle him through that? That's crazy. That's crazy. And this is why you got men walking around right now that will literally stab you, call you out your name, call you a bitch and everything up under the sun because you said, no, I don't want to give you my number. It's just crazy to me. I'm just, y'all, I am just so disappointed. I'm just so disappointed.
Black women like that, you can never come on here and cry and whine and say, white women, Asian women, Hispanic women, they're so hard on us. Everybody hates us. Everybody does not like us. We're the least desired. We're the bottom, this, that, and the third.
Nope. Okay.
You know what I've been noticing though? It's not really like that when it comes to the physical appearances of Black women. Black women are the biggest enemies to each other when it comes to our appearance.
Ooh. Did y'all hear what she said? Black women are the biggest enemies. And it's true. You know, I heard a Black man tell me this a few years ago. And he was like, y'all get dressed to compete with each other. Y'all don't get dressed for us. Y'all don't want those bags and those shoes for us. Y'all do it for each other. And I'm like, no, that's not true. That's not true. But once again, I have been humbled. Humbled Y'all want to see me get humbled so bad? Well, I'm humbled. Once again, I've been humbled. Where I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for other women. I don't ever think about another woman when it comes to getting dressed. Ever. I don't think about the culture. I don't think about the trends. I do what the fuck I want to do when I want to fucking do it. And if I don't want to do it, then I don't want to do it. And if I don't want to wear it, I don't want to wear it. And if I do want to wear it, I'm wearing the shit. That's me. That's always been me. I never gave a fuck. But I see that that's not the case for all women, and that there may be some truth. No, there is a lot of truth to what that man told me. That black man told me.
You have to look perfect.
Oof.
You have to look immaculate to black women.
Mm.
We're the ones who are holding ourselves up that high.
And you know what? I'm 35. Well, 34. I'll be 35, right? I'm like, I feel like I'm halfway through life, right? You can say I'm halfway through life. And the reason why I've been calling out not the old black women, because a lot of women feel like I'm attacking age and it's ageism and all of that. If you can't look past age from a patriarchal perspective and you think I'm shaming you for your age, that's a you problem. That don't got shit to do with me. And each time y'all project some stupid shit onto me, I'm gonna hand it right back to you, because that's not what this is. It's not about ageism. Ageism. It's not about that. You want it to be about that because you're triggered. You're bothered by what I'm saying. But I'm going to say the shit anyway because it's honesty. Y'all are turning out to be those older, bitter women. Period. I don't care if it bothers you, because we're supposed to break the cycle. Y'all are turning out to be the grandmothers that would say, you're gaining weight. Damn. Don't you think you should push back from the table? Look at you. You need to eat. That's who y'all turning out to be. And it's on my timeline. I'm 34. So my peers are my age. It's fucking weird. It's weird. Because that was a cycle that I said I was going to break. I'm not projecting that onto younger women. I'm not projecting that onto my niece or any of the girls in my family. Oh my gosh, I'm not projecting that, because you know what that is? Insecurities being projected on a younger woman. I'm not doing that. I need to deal with my shit. That's what that is. I don't need to be out here projecting it on younger women, because that was done to me as a young girl. I don't care if it makes you uncomfortable. Deal with it. Why are you doing that? It's disgusting. Deal with your shit. Why are you so insecure if your hair is not on point? Are we for real? This is so ridiculous. And again, the Tatiana Chanel, it showed me a lot about women in my age, because again, my timeline is my age group. I expect for the younger girls to compare themselves to their peers. They're the same age. With me in my timeline, seeing 30-something-year-olds compare themselves to 20-year-olds and 21-year-olds and then take up for the man, that shit is weird. That shit is weird. I'm like, I've seen this shit before. I've literally seen this shit before. And why is this shit repeating? It shouldn't be repeating. We're the adults. We're the older women. Not old, but we're the older women. We're supposed to offer insight, wisdom, compassion, understanding, support. Not bullying, mocking, belittling, making fun of a 23-year-old. That's weird. That is so weird. That is so weird. That is so strange. So no, I don't care if it makes you uncomfortable. I keep seeing it and I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I was disgusted. Still disgusted. And you know what I picked up too? Y'all are shallow.
Yeah.
You are shallow, shallow-minded, no personality, no intelligence.
No substance. You have no substance beyond surface level. And I'm not, and you know what? It's for the women that it's for. It's for the women that it's for. If the shoe don't fit, don't put it on. But if it do, wear that shit. Because it does, like, it comes down to shallowness. And it's like, there's so much more to life than that. So much more to life than that. So much more to life than that. I feel like a woman's appearance being constantly critiqued, nitpicked, and pulled apart is misogyny. Misogyny. Deep knee misogyny. Just go back and look at women's history. Okay. I don't know what year were we allowed to wear pants, but if you don't think it's that deep, it is. So to see women nitpick another woman's appearance, it's so weird to me. It's so strange to me. And then to do it publicly with it in front of an audience. I will never forget, I was out at brunch. And this is when I knew I wasn't going to be friends with a girl, a woman, because she showed me some shit that I didn't like. We were out, and we're at brunch. And not my friend, right? But her friend, she decided to pick her apart at the table. And I said, this ain't my table. This ain't my table. Immediately said, this ain't my table. I would never nitpick and pull a woman apart out publicly like that. And I was like, this ain't my table. This ain't the table I need to be sitting at. I'd rather go sit by my damn self. Cause what the fuck? It wasn't the time. It wasn't the place. It was cruel. It was cruel. But I forgot. You have to be compassionate to understand how that person may feel if you were to do some shit like that. But not everybody has that compassion. Not everybody has that. Not everybody has the capacity to put themselves in that position or that role. Like, what would that feel like if that was to be done to you? Right? Same thing with Anaya when it comes to her hair. How would you feel if the whole world was just nitpicking your hair and there's nothing you can do about it? Because if there was something she could do about it, she would have did it. And she did do it. She did do something different once she got the resources. But y'all nitpicking a girl on a reality show, y'all know she can't change her situation. That's cruelty. That's what the fuck that is. Cruelty. Bullying. Bullying. You're a bully. That is what that is. And I hope you feel like a shitty person, because you should feel like a shitty person. You're literally critiquing something so shallow, and then not only that, there's nothing she can do about it. That's cruelty. That is what that is. It's disgusting. And then I'm not a girl's girl, but I am a woman's woman. I am a woman's woman. I am. And when it comes to stuff like that, but you have to be a woman too. Let me backtrack. To be a woman's woman, you got to be a woman. You got to be a grown woman about your shit and who you are. But first, in order to be a grown woman, you got to know who you are. You got to know your shadow side, self-improvement. You got to do some work on yourself to truly become a woman. Otherwise, you just a grown bodied person in a female body. You're still a girl. So I'm a woman's woman. So being a woman's woman would mean this woman can't change her hair or her circumstances. We don't need to be focused on that. We need to be focused on how she's treated. But you know what? She's being treated differently because of her hair. And it's Black women doing it. And you know what that is? Projection. Because historically, we have always been treated differently because of our hair. This is why working on yourself and doing shadow work is so important. Otherwise, you're going to go around projecting your trauma, your insecurities, and your issues on other people that truly don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. They have done nothing to you. Nothing.
I was not even looking at her hair. I was not even focused on her hair.
Man.
You know what I was focused on? When I saw clips of her hair, y'all making fun of her, you know what I was thinking? I'm like, she is in a very hot, humid climate.
That's the first thing
she is on a show where there is a lot going on emotionally and physically. They're doing challenges after challenges. Anxiety is through the roof.
And then I'm also thinking like, damn, I've had a stiff wig. I have. At the nape of the nape of the neck, girl. And it's so annoying too. Have you ever dealt with that? It's so annoying. And it's like, And then if it's a sew in, you like, oh, I can't wait to get this changed out. So I'm just like, bro, shit, there's nothing she can do. This is so ridiculous.
That's what I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking she should have her hair perfect
at all.
I'm thinking, you know what? I'm gonna give her grace because she's having. It's a lot that is going on. And you know what else I was thinking about? I'm like, wow, the connection between her and Carl looks so beautiful. I really hope this is something that turns into something that is really great for them two, like loving on each other. I really hope this is true love and real love for her. That was my concern. I was never concerned about her hair.
Man.
I did not notice her hair until y'all started to point it out. Because I'm not shallow. Because I give Black women grace.
And let me explain what grace is. It's not a pass. It's understanding. It's understanding. Understanding of her plight, understanding of her situation, understanding of her age, understanding of just who she is. Understanding, not a pass. Because y'all be throwing grace around, and because you don't have no substance, because if you did the real work, you would understand what grace is. Grace is not a pass. Grace is understanding. For those that don't know what it means to truly give grace. But when you just going around repeating what everybody else is saying, and you don't have no real substance behind the words that you speak, you just repeating what other people saying, you don't know what's being really, truly said. And that's what it means to have grace, is understanding. So when KC apologized, I gave understanding. Understanding. That's grace, for those wondering. It's not passes.
Truthfully, seeing what y'all did to Ola last season,
oh my God,
and now Anaya, I have divested from the collective of Black women. I only fuck with Black women who are intelligent, that are not shallow.
And I can only deal with the ones that are emotionally stable. I'm realizing that a lot of Black women are not emotionally stable. They're not. They don't know how to emotionally regulate. If they did, they wouldn't be projecting on this girl like this at all. Because it takes emotional regulation. Taking a step back, I'm insecure about her hair. Because if that was me, I would be insecure. That's projection. And when you emotionally regulate, you keep that with you. You don't project it on the next person. That's emotional regulation. But I'm noticing that I'm being humbled in so many ways. That men have been right about a lot of things. About women, period. And I see why some of you are treated like children. Because you act like children. You do. You do. You do. You do. That's why I don't want you talking for me, thinking for me. Please stop. Please stop. Some of you think in extremes. Some of you are overly emotional for no reason. You can't think for me. I don't want you talking for me. I don't want you representing me. I represent myself and I speak for myself. I think for myself. I don't need all that extra stuff because it's just getting to a point. And you know what? I said that this was going to happen. I did. I said that there was going to be a divide, and it's here. It's thriving. It's thriving. And I remember around that time that I was being accused of creating a divide. And I said that it will be the women that are healing and the women that are unhealed. The women that want to repeat loops, they want to repeat cycles, they want to continue in the same shit that they've been doing. They don't want to face themselves. They don't want to do the real work. All they want to do is keep operating in this chaos and keep losing. Because when you operate in chaos, you don't understand how self-destructive you are when it comes to your own life. So you're going to have opportunities stripped from you, ripped from you. You're going to go from here 1 minute, you're up, the next minute you're down because you're self-destructive. You are destroying your own life because you're not emotionally regulated. You're not sensible. You're not level-headed at all. Just childish. Just acting out from your little girl in you because you have not really done the real work. And the real work ain't pretty. It ain't. It's very ugly. It's very ugly. But you know what? When you do the real work, it's so rewarding. You have peace of mind. You're level-headed. You're not an extremist in the mind. You're not an extremist in the mind. When you're an extremist in the mind, It shows signs that you're still in survival mode. Because when you're in survival mode, you only know how to think in extremes. It's the reason why you don't understand me when I say certain things. Because you think two things can't be true at the same time. Because you're an extremist. You're in survival mode. So you think extreme here, 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 and here. Oh no, it's not mean-spirited. It's honesty. This is coming from love, but it's real. It's real. And sometimes honesty makes people uncomfortable. That's all. You're uncomfortable with my honesty, but it's honesty. It is straight honesty. And for those that are willing to accept it and listen, it will benefit you in so many different ways. You will continue to be great. You will go out and do great things. But if you can't handle constructive criticism that is truly meant to build you up, not tear you down, because you're supposed to elevate with this. You're not supposed to be torn down. Tearing down is making fun of someone's hair. Like, what does that do? That don't do shit. Constructive criticism builds you. It does. It builds you up. Doesn't tear you down. Know the difference, because some of you also don't even know how to be receptive to constructive criticism. Constructive means it benefits you. But if you want me to coddle your toxicity, then you don't want constructive criticism. You want to keep operating in your toxicity, your chaos, and your dysfunction. And listen, it's your life. It's not mine. I'm getting everything that I want. I'm getting everything that I want. I have everything that I want. I don't want for anything. So it is what it is. But if you still out here actively fighting for certain things that you want and you feel like you're not getting it, maybe it's you. Maybe you do need to do some work on yourself. Maybe the responses and the reactions and the experiences that you're getting them because you keep settling for certain things. Like Melanie is a prime example of that. She deserves so much more, but she can't see it. She deserves so much more, but she can't see it. And she keeps choosing chaos. She keeps choosing confusion, dysfunction. Someone that keeps giving them highs, but then low lows. It's not my life, it's yours.
That are understanding, that give grace to other Black women. I have a softer spot for Black women because why? Because we get a lot of shit from other races and living in this world.
Yeah.
So
But I've had to learn that my soft spot, I can't keep giving y'all passes. I can't keep giving you passes. I didn't give Anaya passes when she stood up like that in front of that black man. And yeah, I can acknowledge that he stood up first. That's not how you respond. That it's just not. I do. I have a huge soft spot for Black women. I do. We've been through a lot of shit. Our grandmothers, our mothers, our great grandmothers, our aunties. We've been through a lot of shit. But I can't. My soft spot can't continue to just be dismissive of just toxic, dysfunctional behavior. Like I can't do it. And I think in the past, my soft spot for Black women has really blinded me to a lot of things. And it took me working on myself to see the dysfunction, to see beyond the soft spot. And I'm seeing that. And I'm just not happy with what I'm seeing. I'm actually very disgusted. And then to do this so openly, to do this in front of company is even worse. It's worse. It's worse.
give grace to Black women all the time, and I'm not shallow. I choose to look beyond the surface. I choose to not sit and bully a person who has feelings, who's gonna come out of that villa and see all of these things that are being said about her. All because of hair. Her hair is not kept. Her hair is not looking the way it should be looking. Y'all are disgusting.
But listen, you know what? Because a lot of you are saying, I just want better for us. Me too. But you know what I'm learning? And I've been humbled so much behind wanting so much more for Black women. I can only want I can continue wanting better, but I can't stay in this space of like trying to push Black women to go for better or to want it for themselves. And I've completely just dropped my arms. And if you've noticed, I've been taking a step back from YouTube. People have been telling me to come back, and I'm just like, I'm exhausted. And I'm gonna tell the younger Black girls that don't waste your time. Don't do it. And I was the youngest in the Black women's empowering space, the Pink Pills, the Cynthia G's, um, the St. Charles, um, the Nyla says, like I was the youngest. And when they left and they kind of dropped off and they went behind paywalls and things like that, and they created their little communities and things like that, I'm like, why did they leave? Oh my God, I can't believe they leave. Humbled. I get it. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. And then to fight for a group of people that don't want better, it's like it's exhausting. India Irie is a prime example. She's being called a bird simply because she wants more for her people. She wants better for them, but they don't want better for themselves. So to the younger Black girls, I'm going to tell you, focus on wanting better and getting better for you. That's it. I've wasted so much time and energy, and I could have been pouring into myself. I could have been pouring into myself. I could be so much further if I would have just poured more into me. But I was pouring into everyone else constantly. And then I was pouring into cups that wanted to be empty, but I was still giving. I'm done. I quit. If you haven't noticed, I quit. I don't want to be the voice for Black women or anything like that. I can't speak for Black women. Black women need to speak for themselves individually. I still support women. I'm a woman's woman, but I don't support dysfunction, toxicity, and bullshit. I will never, ever support that. So that's just where I stand. But I'm not going to lie, my soft spot for Black women, it blinded me to a lot of dysfunctional, toxic things. And now it's just been exposed to me that I've been an enabler, and I don't like that. So I've had to take accountability as well, that I've been an enabler. I have. I have, because it's just, y'all, it's just so ridiculous. I'm just like, what? It's just so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And then that's the thing. It's like people think that that's how I feel when it comes to Anaya. And no, I'm going to pull it up again. Let me show you. Not this one. Okay. No, 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 no. Let me pull it up because I want to make myself very clear. All right. So some of you are not just criticizing her behavior. And if you notice, whenever I give commentary, I'm criticizing behavior, not appearances. Okay. I'm criticizing choices. If it's a dumb choice, it's a dumb choice. The reason why people can't read beyond a fifth grade level is because people are not honest. Honesty is helpful. It may make you uncomfortable in the beginning, but it's helpful. So when I'm critiquing behavior, not appearances. Choices, not appearances. Choices, not lifestyles. I don't even critique lifestyles. If you want a luxury life, if you saw my polygamous video, I never shamed women for wanting to be married. I don't shame women for wanting marriage, and I don't shame women for wanting a luxury life. If you feel like that's what you deserve, then that's what you deserve. I feel like you should aim for that. I would never tell you don't go for something that you deserve, you want, or you desire for yourself. But I do believe your choices, your approach, that matters. It does. So when it came to LaDonnie's character in Polygamous, I'm not going to get into it, but like I understood her through her dysfunction. I understood her. I knew she wanted just a comfortable life. She wanted a life of luxury. She felt like she deserved that. I would never say you don't deserve something, but her approach, it was just all wrong. That matters. So, and then this another thing too, because I always say that, part of your authenticity is not liking somebody. And I respect that. When people say they don't like me, I'm not about to cry about that shit. That's their authenticity. Everybody's not meant to like me. If I'm out here just trying to be liked by everybody, then I'm not being myself. And I would rather be hated and disliked for me being me than to be hated and disliked for being performative. So part of being authentic is to not be liked, and that is okay. Also, part of authenticity is to not like somebody. Like, it goes both ways. Duality. It's duality. When someone doesn't like you, that's part of their authenticity. And people don't need a reason. And you shouldn't care what their reason is if you're the one being disliked. So I get it. Some people just don't like Anaya. And I respect that. What I don't respect is her being degraded, mocked, and bullied. You can criticize her behavior, which I've shown you how I did that without degrading her, mocking her, and bullying her. You can criticize her behavior and offer constructive criticism, right? Constructive means you're not tearing her down, you're building her up. It is also your choice not to like someone. But when you consistently go out of your way to mock, degrade, and bully, that is when it becomes very weird and obsessive. This is not normal behavior. Something is seriously wrong. Something deeper is happening. That is what that is. Something deeper. Insecurities being triggered, trauma, something's going on when you become obsessive and not liking somebody. Because let me tell you what it looks like for someone that doesn't like. When I don't like somebody, I detach. That's it. I unsubscribe, I unfollow, I block. I don't keep up with them. I'm not monitoring them. I don't give a fuck. I detach. But when you are claiming to not like somebody, but you're attached, you're weirdly obsessed, something deeper is going on with that. Something really deep is happening with you. Because healthy dislike is detachment. It's not obsession. It's not monitoring. It's not even hate. That's another thing. There was somebody in the comments of my community tab saying that I hate Casey. Hate is such a strong word. But when you're an extremist, you only think in love or hate. Someone can dislike, and that's it. It doesn't have to get to the level of hate. But I understand. I get it. Some of you are just extreme, but I'm not extreme. Hate, like, no. Hate takes so much energy out of you. First of all, I wouldn't even waste my time with extending hate towards another person. That's just too much energy. So again, this is not normal behavior. When you truly dislike someone, you detach. But when there's something else deeper going on where you're hateful, you're monitoring, you're obsessive, yeah, there's something else going on with that. Something serious going on with that. Let's see. Dislike when it's healthy and you're just being authentic is detachment. For those that needed to know.
That man could get down on one knee and propose, and I still am not buying the little game, the little performative shit that he likes to put on, the bullshit he likes to put on. Would you be TT? Would you be my girlfriend? Would you be my girlfriend? So.
And I just want to say this. I like TT. Tier. I like her. I see beyond she kind of has that same Black woman energy of, I need to protect myself. So I need to come in guarded, strong. I see beyond that. She's a very sweet girl. She really is. And now, because I see the sweetness beyond that armor that she has, I don't like Casey for her. It's just what it is. I feel like she deserves better than that. I feel like she deserves someone that genuinely shows up for her. When she broke down crying, I knew she's never had anyone really show up for her like that. You could tell. So what I don't like is this girl has never had anyone genuinely, selflessly show up for her. And then here this man is performing to show up for her because he wants to win the show. And she's taking everything in that he's saying as her first boyfriend, as just face value. And I hope that, she learns from this experience. But I feel like she deserves better. I do. The sweetness. She got that harder exterior. She a little spicy or whatever. I like a little spice. But I feel like she deserves better though. Like she deserves someone to really see her because I see her sweetness, right? But does KC see her sweetness? I don't know. Does he see beyond the armor? Does he see her softness? Because when he kept saying basically what he likes about her is all about what she can withstand, when it comes to dealing with him and who he is. And I'm like, that's a lot for a sweet girl like that to take on. I feel like she deserves better. I feel like she deserves love that doesn't require performance, that doesn't require being in defensive mode. I feel like she deserves love that where she can just exist and be appreciated and to be worthy and valued and for her worth to be seen. That's what I feel like she deserves. But we all settle for what we settle for. And we all have free will and we all make our own choices. But she's 25. She got time. But I genuinely, once I saw her break down like that, I don't want her to get hurt. That's what that is. I don't want her to get hurt. And I feel like Casey has the ability to hurt her. And if you feel like he doesn't, let me know. Because that may be where we disagree. But that's what it is. I don't want her to get hurt. And I feel like she's such a sweet girl. She doesn't deserve to be hurt. She really doesn't. She seems kind, very genuine, understanding. Now, there were some things that I did see that I did not like movie night. I felt like she was snickering and laughing. I don't know if that's Love Island being messy because again, last season with Clark, who was in the same position, they tried to make her out to be kind of like similar, but we don't know those face shots if it really syncs up in real time with what was unfolding. So I don't know, but I do feel like she's kind. I do feel like she's sweet, and it doesn't seem like there's any animosity between Anaya and Tierra. It seems like they're genuinely happy for each other and their connections. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. You know, sometimes Love Island, the editing is messy, and I always leave room for that. So when I saw TT and Tierra and just seeing her like interact genuinely, and she's coming out of that like performative mode, I feel like there's a sweetness to her. I do, but only time will tell, you know. But I do. So far, what I've seen, I'm like, I like this side of Tier. I like this side of TT.
Y'all are eating it up, you know, black love, eat it up, eat it up. Y'all can eat it up all you want, but a lot of times when I hear black love, I think toxic. Now, that's not to say that there aren't any black couples that act.
And you wanna know why black love gets such a bad rep? Is because of choices. Not because black love doesn't exist. I have 2 black parents. They show me what black love is every day. Literally, and I've seen them at their lowest and I've seen them at their worst. They have shown me what black love is. I have that representation daily. This is not coming from a girl that comes from a broken home. I see it. So because I see it, right? I see it daily, right? I know what it actually looks like when it's not toxic and dysfunctional. But if it's just we just want to see 2 black people together and we want to see them in love, it doesn't matter if it's toxic, dysfunctional, or whatever the case may be. Okay, I guess y'all do have black love. But if you want to see black love and it be healthy, well, it comes down to choices. And I think part of the issue is we have this standard in the black community that we should continue to choose black even when it's toxic and it's dysfunctional. And I don't agree with that. It doesn't create a healthy environment if you choose to have kids. It doesn't create a healthy dynamic if you choose to cohabitate with a man. Like it literally strips you of any joy, happiness that you could have. And I feel like this goes both ways. Like this is not just a black woman thing and a black man thing. One thing that I've learned since watching Love Island, you know, black people wanted Anaya and Casey so bad, but I didn't because I didn't see that they were compatible at all. I felt like they were better compatible elsewhere. I felt like Casey was more compatible possibly with Soul, and I felt like Anaya was just more compatible with Carl. I saw it both sides. And I felt like the only reason why they stuck together was because they were black. But that can't be it. That can't be it. That's not enough. That does not sustain a true relationship. Blackness cannot just be the only foundation when it comes to truly creating a connection through compatibility. And sometimes you just connect more with other people that just don't look like you. That's just and listen, to black people, that's okay. It does not make you a bad person. And you want to know who really opened my eyes up to this? Black men. They open my eyes up to this. They do. Because one thing that that stuck out to me was Anaya and KC, they just did not have great communication. And I felt like it was the both of them. They just kept missing each other. They kept misunderstanding each other. And it was just like they would have conversations and they'd miss. Then they would come back, try to have another conversation, miss. And it was just like, why are they not seeing eye to eye? They should be because they're black, right? But they're not. Why? They just weren't compatible. The differences within their compatibility just stuck out. So they weren't a good match. They didn't fail us. They didn't fail the culture. They just weren't a good match. And I think if we were to accept this, not saying you got to like it, not saying you got to honor it, but if you were to just accept that this is just life sometimes, this is just human nature and reaction, like Carl just matches Anaya simply because they have a similar background. He played volleyball, she played volleyball. They were both athletes in college. They have a similar lifestyle, both well-traveled, both intellectual. TT and KC are just more intellectually on the same level, which means they communicate better. TT and KC communicate better. Anaya and KC did not. She happens to be a black woman. That's it. But I also think Casey probably would have communicated better with Soul as well. It just wasn't with Anaya. That's okay. That's okay. And that's what I'm trying to say here. It's like we don't have to, black people don't have to keep choosing each other just because we're black. You need to make sure, is that person actually compatible with you? Like seriously. Because blackness can't be the only thing holding y'all together. And anytime I see blackness being the literal only thing holding a couple together, the woman is being dragged to filth. To filth. And if anything goes wrong in that connection, the woman is to be blamed, not the man. So I just feel like when it came to Anaya and Carl, they just weren't compatible. That is okay. They most likely were more compatible with non-black people. That is okay. I don't understand, like, what's the offense here with that? I don't know why KC didn't go after Soul. Maybe he felt like America wouldn't agree with that because they liked black love. I don't know. But I felt like KC should have went for Soul. I felt like he should have explored that connection. I don't know why he did not. I felt like they could have had something, possibly.
Actually have beautiful love. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. However,
oh, Emily is in the chat. I'll make sure to put a link to her TikToks. Isn't she great? She's so great.
Out of the time when we say black love, it's always the woman serving the black man. When he was talking about how he's so excited to ask TT to be his girlfriend, he just kept talking about how she serves him.
Yeah, that's it.
How she reminds him of his mother and sister because they most likely coddle him too and baby him. And so TT comes in and she's continuing the same thing, babying him, coddling him, damn near feeding him. So of course he's going to want that. Of course, black love. Of course he's going to want someone that's going to coddle him and be there for him and be his warrior. The one who speaks for him. I didn't vote for them. I voted for Kata and Zach over them. They're not even in the top 4. You understand me? And I feel like because the straight men have gotten involved in Love Island, which I hate. Y'all ruin everything.
Okay, this is another hot take, right? This is another hot take, but I have it. And I said this on TikTok and I'm going to say it here. This is what I really think about Casey. Casey was going to win this show from the very beginning. He was. But you know who came in and infiltrated his win? His counterparts. Do men not understand that sometimes the advice of your friends is to self-sabotage a good thing? Because everyone knew that Anaya, whoever got Anaya, they were going to win the show. Men can pick up on that. KC had Anaya. KC had Anaya. America loved KC and Anaya. You don't think the men could peep that? Everything was going so well until those men got in his head. Literally. Everything was going so well. And that's when the issues really started between Anaya, because also Anaya was listening to those same guys. She was listening to Sincere. I don't know what her deal is with Sincere, but I'm like, girl, stop listening to that man. I feel like Anaya, she has that naive, gullible mindset where she wants to see the good in people, even though they're showing you they're not good people. He's a liar. That's just what he is. He's a liar. He even lied to Corbin. Girl, if he lied to Corbin, he gonna lie to you. I don't know why. I don't get it. But KC was going to win this show. He was. I feel like everyone, and listen, I felt it's so crazy. Like in the beginning, I felt like the producers wanted him to win. America wanted him to win. Everybody wanted him to win. Seriously, everybody wanted them to win. And then those men came in, got in his head, and for whatever reason, he went from being the nice guy to being this like douchebag. I don't understand it. And I think that's why he was so shocked by his own behavior during movie night, because I don't think he understood how heavily he was being influenced by his male peers to where he didn't even recognize his self during movie night. That's why it was so uncomfortable for him, because the whole time he was acting like that, he was being coached by his male peers. Why is that being downplayed? So I think a lot of people saw KC winning this from the very beginning, including his male influences. And they came in and they dismantled that foundation. And that's what I believe it all started. That's how it all started. And it's the reason why so many people are like, people are saying Casey is getting so much backlash, but Sincere is not. I feel like it has a lot to do with they were banking on him winning. And then this whole switch up happened. And now he's the worst because of the switch up. Not, and it was because of the switch up, and it was because they wanted him to win. But then when things started getting disrespectful, that's when people were like, oh, I don't like Casey. I don't like Casey. And that's when the whole situation with Casey and Anaya just overshadowed Sincere. Sincere ain't shit. That's a fact. That man ain't shit. For real. But KC, he just didn't see it. I really think that he originally got tricked out of his spot. And he got tricked out of his spot because of his male influences. That's what I think. So, yeah, like, and then y'all don't think it's suspicious that Bryce was a part of the male influence? Zach was a part of the male influence. He got to Corbin very last. Corbin was last. But it was Zach, it was Bryce. And y'all wonder why I don't like Bryce like that? Part of the reason I don't like Bryce like that is because of who he gravitated towards, which was Zach. He mirrors Zach, and we all know Zach is sneaky. Well, he's sneaky to me. He's sneaky to me. But yeah, they tricked that black man out of his own spot. I watched it in real time because I'm watching it backwards and forwards. So I'm like, damn, they literally tricked this man out of his spot in real time. And I think if Casey were to go back and rewatch this season of Love Island, I think he would take it that way. I think he would see it that way, that he was tricked out of his spot by his male counterparts because they saw him winning it from the very beginning. Seriously. It's very sneaky. Very, very, very. And that's why I'm just like, I don't trust Bryce at all. Because, and listen, the reason why Bryce is buddy buddy with Zach is because the biggest competition for Bryce was who? Casey and Anaya. So yeah, they tricked him out of his spot. Sincere too. Sincere, all of them. They just it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I think they tricked the black man out of his spot and they convinced him. Now, this is the thing. Do you think Casey is showing his true colors, or do you think that he was just influenced? When I consider his age, I think that he was just being heavily influenced. That's what I think. Do I think that what we saw was the real him? Part of me is saying no. A part of me is saying no. Does he have that red pill language? Yes, but again, influence. His shortcoming is influence. And I said this from the very beginning. The reason why I said I didn't like Casey was because I said, well, what is there to like? I don't think he really knows who he is. He comes across like he lacks identity, like he's hesitant. He's unsure of himself. He looks in other directions when you're trying to have a conversation with him. Like the whole time he was speaking to Anaya, he couldn't give her eye contact. Then when TT was defending him, he was looking down at the floor. He couldn't give Anaya eye. That's a man that is a young man that is unsure of himself. He doesn't know himself. And as someone that has watched my brothers go from boys to men, one thing that I notice is that when they are unsure of themselves, they don't know who they are, identity, and they don't know the type of man that they want to be yet. And I feel like that's where Casey is in life. He's 23. He doesn't know who he is, which is normal. 23 years old. I wouldn't expect for him to know who he is yet. I feel like through this experience, he's learning. But then also the second thing too is that I don't think he knows what type of man he wants to be. And hear me out when I say this. I feel like every man, young man, goes through that phase in their life where they're trying to figure out what type of man they want to be. Do they want to be the toxic masculine man? Or do they want to be the man that's more in tune with their emotions? They're more in tune with their more feminine side. Not that they're feminine, but like they have a connection with that. They have a connection with their emotions, their feelings. They know how to communicate and express them when needed, when necessary. Kind of like Carl. Carl knows who he is. He knows the type of man that he wants to be because he has chosen what that is for himself. I feel like Casey hasn't done that yet. But Casey is also 23. Carl, I think, is 27. So again, the grace that I give KC is I think that he was heavily influenced. And I think that the reason why the internet is giving him so much backlash is not because he's a black man, but because he was the nice guy. And a lot of girls liked him, and this is a girl's show. This is Barbie's world, right? And a lot of girls liked him. And it's kind of very similar to Clay Thompson, like the same situation with Clay Thompson. The girls were eating Clay Thompson up, like they loved Clay Thompson. And then when the whole switch up happened with Megan, girl, I was seeing people do spells on that man, and I'm like, oh, girl, I would hate to be on y'all's bad side. Damn. I feel like the same thing happened with Casey. That's all I'm saying.
They're the reason I feel like they are still in the motherfucking villa. It's the black men, the straight black men that are voting. Yeah, again.
Preferably the NBA. It's the NBA. It's the NBA players.
Y'all can have the black love shit. Like, again, I know real black love does exist.
It does.
I'm just not for the ride or die.
Black love does exist, but it don't have to come with struggle for those that still want it. It don't have to come with struggle. It don't have to come with you self-abandoning yourself, constantly being in servitude to the man, worshiping the man. And then the process of you being in servitude and worshiping the man, you have to self-abandon yourself and live in misery. I feel like you can still have black love without all of that extra stuff. Okay. I feel like you can have black love and be appreciated, seen, and valued by that black man. But you got to raise the standard. You got to raise the bar, honey. Otherwise, you're going to get that type of black love where you're going to have to keep compromising and compromising and compromising and compromising like Joyce did in Polygamous. Okay, she got black love, she got the black man, but it all led to her constantly compromising and compromising and compromising and compromising. It shouldn't come down to that. It should not come down to that where you have to keep compromising so much when it comes to your life, your belief, and just who you are as a woman. It shouldn't come down to all of that.
Type of black love as a black woman, if you with the black man, you got to be that ride or die, and that is the real black love. No, thank you. Y'all can have that.
And you know, Scorpios are very transformative. So Scorpios are very transformative, like shape-shifting transformative. So who knows? Let me see. Do I have anything else that I want to say? Oh, I do want to remind y'all. Remember when I said that you can never fumble a man when he likes you? Remember y'all was saying Anaya doesn't deserve a Carl. She over here wearing this man's these bracelets that symbolize healing, transformation. And when based off of his belief system and where he come from, when you give someone those bracelets, that's a big deal. It's very sacred. You don't give those bracelets out to just anybody. Yeah, remember when y'all said she fumbled? And I was like, no, she didn't fumble because that man actually liked her. When a man likes you, he's delusional about your flaws. Did I not say that? Because that man still wanted her after she stood up in front of KC like the way she did. He was like, yeah, I still want her. But she need to fix that. I think the reason why Anaya went and apologized to KC was because Carl didn't like that. And I think he held her accountable privately. That's what I think. I think they had a conversation about that. That's what I think. I don't think it was the producers. I don't think so at all. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. Remember when y'all was saying that? And I was like, have y'all ever had a man like you? When men like you, they are very delusional. Okay? They are so delusional. But you got to know yourself well enough to know who you are when it comes to your flaws in order for you to recognize, damn, this man actually do like my ass. I'm crazy too. He see my crazy and he's still delusional about me. Damn, he really do like me then. That's how you know. That's how you know. That's why I don't know why the girls were like, oh, Anaya fumbled. I was like, do y'all be out here dealing with men that like you? They really delusional. So yeah, I wasn't surprised by that. Let me see. Was it anything else I wanted to talk about? Is it this one? Hold on. Oh no, not that one. I think that's it, y'all. I want to say that's it. I'm trying to think. Was there anything else I didn't express? I feel like there was something else that I wanted to say. I still voted for Casey and Tier. I think I already said that. Listen. I'm voted for them for so many different reasons. All right. That's what I wanted to say. So last season, right, with Ace and Taylor, I said that I wasn't rocking with them for real. Like I wasn't rocking with Ace, I wasn't rocking with Taylor like that, and it was because they were showing signs of inconsistency. And now there has been a lot of drama that has came out about Taylor and Ace and them being in cahoots with each other. So sometimes when you're rejected in life, it's a blessing. Oh, Landry is nowhere near all of this mess that's going on. Nowhere near. So, like I said earlier, even when it came to KC, he was saying how no one stood behind my door. Sometimes it's truly rejection is truly a blessing. And you need to be able to recognize when it's a blessing. Change your perspective. It's not about coddling Anaya. It's not about coddling grown people. It's truly about know when to recognize when you being rejected is a win. It's not a loss. Y'all enjoy the rest. Please give this video a thumbs up if you would like to see my face again. Also, if you could please hype up. Oh my God, can you please hype up my polygamous video? Please. Can you hype it up? Can you hype it up? If you hype up that video, I will come on here sooner than later to do my what video was that? Oh, to do my whole breakdown and commentary on Shelly, Ace, Taylor, Clark, and yeah. So if y'all can hype up that video, hype this video, give this video a thumbs up, I will be back on here sooner than later. Otherwise, I'm gonna prioritize my Patreon because that's just what I've been doing lately. But if you can hype it up, hype it up, hype it up, that I'll push through it. And to my Patreon members, you're getting your reading for Mercury retrograde. Listen, be careful about this Mercury retrograde, honey. Okay, it's gonna be exposing. All right, because I think Neptune is in retrograde too. That's about exposing the truth, and then also that's why it's crazy, girl. I had to clutch my pearls. The Neptune being in retrograde, I was like, no wonder the Shelly situation got exposed. Shelly and Ace got exposed. I'm like, oh, girl. So I've been wanting to do a reading on Mercury retrograde because Mercury retrograde is all about communication. And if you don't have any good emotional regulation, sis, you're going to slip up and say some shit that you shouldn't have said. So be careful. Watch what you say. If you got to take a step back, breathe, count to 5. Some of y'all need to do it 3 times slowly. And then think before what you're going to say. Because this Mercury retrograde is not playing with anybody. And then if you got an ex that's coming back, block that man. All right? Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's day. I hope to see you in my next one. Please give the video a thumbs up. And thank you for supporting.
This is my opinion. I'm free to state my opinion anytime I like, right? Thank you.
I don't want you to feel like that. But yeah, feel like that.
This is my opinion. I'm free to state my opinion anytime I like, right? Thank you.
I don't want you to feel like that. But yeah, feel like that.